Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome. There has been an awakening. A dark force is rising, and it is the Ninja Troll Digicast. Not that dark force. My name is Tim Dixon, and I am joined, as always, by Mike Worth.
Hey, Timmy. I'm kind of not feeling so good today.
You all right?
I don't know. Something's coming over me here, and I don't know.
Silence the human, Timmy D. Behold, for you are in the presence of what you might call a reverse Ninja Troll. For I am Shniko, the Karate Orc. Waha, waha, ya! And I will be commanding the start of the show from here on out. Here we go from the top. Roll the music, please. I command your ears and unwelcome you to the evil dungeon of ignorance for the Karate Orc Analog Cast, where geekery is punishable by death. I am your glorious harbinger, Shniko, the Karate Orc. Waha, waha, ya! And next to me is the subsequent human peon that I tolerate. Timmy, I lost my mojo D. Mr. Dixon, if you are nasty. We have an epic onslaught of propaganda for you this week, and I will now allow the subsequent human peon, Timmy D, to recite them before he returns to his cage. Waha, yaha, whatcha!
Sorry.
You okay now?
I'm all right. Sorry, I don't know what just came over me. The last 28 seconds went completely dark.
You blacked out.
Yeah, but how are you, Timmy?
That was interesting. That was a little our own little Professor Zoom right here.
I thought it was just maybe a migraine, a little head cold.
Yeah,
But
you cleared your throat. You're good now.
I'm good. Yeah. So what do we got coming up today, Timmy?
Coming up, we've got our the last part of our.
You can't even recover from
I can't.
that.
Yeah, there's no way you can recover from something like that. We've got the last part of our Crisis on Infinite Earth in our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We
got a showcase.
We got a showcase on the Flash. We're gonna have to split it into two again, like we did, because I don't want it to be too long. And there's been 4 Flashes. That's a lot of stuff.
And Robin was a lot. So
yeah.
We're talking about a major character, right?
Yeah,
Robin's still major, but
and quite frankly, I know when we get to Wally West, because he's my favorite, there's going to be a lot of
we're gonna need a day for Wally.
Yeah. So we're splitting up. But today we're going to do J. Garrick and Barry Allen.
Perfect.
And then next week we will do Wally West and Bart
Awesome.
Allen. It'll be majority will be Wally, because Bart was the Flash for about a cup of coffee. So it'll be the majority will be Wally.
That'll
West.
be quick. And those are the only Flash
Yes.
that we ever had.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
okay.
no, there's another one.
Oh,
And that's we're going to go over some like alternate versions as well.
perfect.
So I may even look at the Professor Zooms through the years as well,
Nice.
because there's been several different ones of those. So.
It'd be great to know about all that.
Yeah. And in our comic rack, we've got some very interesting news coming from Frank Miller.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah, this will be really, really interesting.
Yeah.
And, of course, we got all the movie and TV news. But something I saw this week, Entertainment Earth, and why they're not doing this at Christmas time, I can't understand it.
What?
But in April, Entertainment Earth will be releasing a foam batleth, the Klingon weapon.
That's awesome.
I want one of them right now.
Oh, man.
I want it for Christmas. Yeah. How can you announce it at Christmas, like right before Christmas time, but not have it available until April?
So this is that
That's
two-handed deer
Yes.
antler looking weapon.
Yes.
Okay, not the like knife that like opens and.
No.
Okay.
I want one of those too.
Yeah. Everybody gets a Glock.
Yeah. Yeah. So they will have that available next April.
Oh.
But they're just teasing us at Christmas time.
Oh, maybe it's April Fools. Maybe it's going to be the hover batleth.
But yeah, that I've got to have one of those as soon as they come out. It's going to be hanging on my wall in my office after April.
You want to rent a what?
And this was a very interesting thing I saw this week. Star Wars is taking themselves out of any kind of award consideration
Okay.
to keep everything under wraps, to make sure nothing leaks out. Because
Exactly, because screener copies get out for award
exactly.
people.
As soon as you send a copy over to somebody to be screened,
Done.
the messenger bringing it over stops at their apartment, makes a copy.
Totally.
Yeah, and then it's everywhere immediately. So they're willing to forego any awards that they would get. And I mean, quite frankly, Star Wars is a blockbuster. It's not
It doesn't
necessarily
need to win an award.
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's like Jabba for best gangster.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was interesting that they just completely said no, we're not doing that. I mean, and J.J. Abrams is notorious for keeping a tight lid on everything, to make sure that there's no leaks and nothing gets out before the movie comes out.
Well, good for them. I mean, it's it's going to be a huge hit. I mean, we're all pumped. I got to give the studio, J.J. Abrams, George Lucas, just 100% credit. Whoever was behind it was allowing that young man who had that terminal illness to see the movie.
Yeah,
and he passed away days after.
It turned out, it was a couple days after he got to see it that he passed away.
That's awesome. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, that's a good deed for a good long time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
That's major.
And it, I mean, this guy's not long for the earth. And that's one of his things. It doesn't matter if it's not a final copy, or I think it was consideration at first was, there's not a finished print of the movie yet.
Right. So what he'd see would be.
Yeah. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care if some of the effects don't look quite as good.
No, he just gets a piece of it.
Yeah.
What he's been in. I mean, his name was Daniel Fleetwood.
Yeah.
And he was 32. He had a rare form of connective tissue cancer. So I mean, oh gosh.
It was a very good deed to make that happen. And you kind of knew it would, that they would. I mean,
we hoped they would.
Yeah.
So, full credit to them. That was
Absolutely,
great. That was like a real sort of silver lining type of story.
Yeah. And also in Singapore's Changi Airport, they have a full-size display of both an X-Wing fighter and a TIE fighter.
Oh.
Full size.
Can you sit in them, or
I would assume so.
Or is it just like it's roped and you? Oh man,
and that would be the cruelest thing if it was roped off and you couldn't go up there. That would be the worst.
I'd risk it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What are you gonna? I mean, whatever you do. Of course, this is Singapore. I was gonna say whatever you do to me would be worth it, but this is not like.
There's pictures.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, they look phenomenal. It's the new ones.
Oh, it's the black. Yeah, it's the First Order.
Yeah, it is. It is roped off. That
TIE fighter
sucks.
Yeah, but man, I'd love to sit in a TIE fighter cockpit.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be incredible.
Yeah,
but they march all sorts of troopers and stuff in front of it. And,
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and there's an
fantastic.
R2-D2 themed plane. I noticed. I think that's the picture of it right there. Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in aviation world that's Star Wars themed.
Well, Star Trek got the Enterprise on the shuttle.
True.
So Star Wars can use a plane or two.
Yeah, there you go. They get the planes. Yeah.
Not just fridges.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and jump right into our movie and TV news. First thing, Supergirl.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to my little thing here in a second, but the originally scheduled episode for Monday night got bumped.
How come?
Because it was based on her stopping bombings in National City.
Ooh.
So out of
respect
to what happened in Paris, they bumped that episode and went with the fifth one.
Which was what?
Which was Livewire.
Okay.
Which stuck pretty much to the comic book. It was a shock jock that gained electrical powers. And I am very happy to say that they have made the progression.
Oh,
that
good.
we were talking about.
Right, you had
And
some doubts.
I had some doubts, and it was really starting to tick me off. And they kind of they started off the same way, because the shock jock was talking about Supergirl, and it was, typical shock jock stuff. It's like, oh, what's she doing? Why is she wearing? Look at what she's wearing, and this and that, and yada yada. The whole deal of just hammering Supergirl over the air. And
you thought it was going to be set up where
exactly
she would be like,
it was almost the
hey!
same thing, but she stood up for herself and told her to shut up. When she at the end, like when she's fighting her, she stood. She
was a female shock jock.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah. She called her a mean girl, which I thought was hilarious. But she is much more confident now,
Cool.
and they are showing the progression where now the DEO is more.
What's DEO again?
That's the agency that her sister works for. And,
Gotcha.
And Hank Henshaw, which you keep getting flashes that there's something wrong with him. You see his eyes glow red at different points. So something's going on with him. But this episode also featured Dean Cain.
Whoa.
He plays her dad. Although I don't know if he's dead now or yes.
Oh, is it a flashback?
They show flashbacks. He's her dad,
and then
Helen Slater, who played Supergirl in the movie,
awesome,
is her mom.
I saw that.
She came for a visit, and yes, she was talking about. I remember now. She was talking about when her father died.
Okay.
But it was revealed by their mother this week that Jeremiah Danvers, their dad, worked for the DEO, and Hank Henshaw in particular. He basically came, Kara and I can't remember the sister's name, but they snuck out one night when they were little and went flying.
Oh.
And Hank Henshaw shows up to take her in, to say, okay, she can't be out here
flying.
Yeah, she can't be doing this. So we're taking her to the DEO. And and Jeremiah stands up and goes, no, you're not. She needs to stay out here. I'll give you something you want even more. Me working for the DEO.
Oh.
So,
and that's that lead up
yes.
to sort of set us up for now.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So they found out that Henshaw's got, some kind of weird manipulative stuff going on. He never mentioned that Jeremiah worked for them. So it was all a secret. So so now they know something's going on with Henshaw. So the two sisters are now, Supergirl and her sister, are now watching him, trying to figure out what's going on.
Oh, cool.
So it was something that it was a progression with the character. Now she knows that, but she's smart enough to say, okay, I've got to play along for right now
until it reveals
and figure
itself.
out what's going on.
Right.
But she's taking the lead to go, we need to figure this out. We need to figure out what's going on.
Awesome.
And so, they have made the progression. And I think the fact that we skipped an episode
probably accelerated
that. Yeah.
There's probably going to be another 2 episodes of maybe getting there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, which I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't know if they'll ever air the
bomb one.
Yeah.
They may not. Yeah.
I mean, because it was just bad timing when it came out, and it's going to be a sore subject for a while. So they may not air it.
Yeah.
But I was pleased with this week's episode.
Great.
So and I talked to Emma about it, and she agreed.
Cool.
She was the same way that it's
stepped up.
Yeah, and it's stepped up, and because I wanted to ask, before I said anything, I wanted to ask her what she thought about it, and she was much happier with this episode. And she said because it wasn't the same thing, and she's 13, so she doesn't know how to necessarily articulate everything. But she's like, it's not the same thing, and it kind of pulled it out of her that she agreed with what I was saying, that they had done the same thing each, like all 3 episodes was basically a retread of the same concept each time.
Yep.
So but she was happier with this one, and she's enjoying the show and ready to continue watching it. She's not as gaga about it as she is about the Flash, but she's enjoying it. So
that's good.
They're I mean, they're
very fair of you.
they're getting the target audience, and they're pulling me in as well, and able to make me do not a 180, but at least a good turn on, because I was not happy with it, and if it would continued the way it was, I would have taken it off the list of stuff I was going to watch.
Right. But
I'm very happy with it.
Cool. That's good.
So,
I have not yet seen anything of Supergirl except for trailers because of this CBS Online.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I need to work it out. I haven't gotten an antenna yet. Sorry, Chris Carpenter. I still have my foil up.
Yeah, there you go.
I did reline my hat though. So.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. No more talking to the psycho pirate.
Well, that would be cool though.
Yeah.
There's an online petition being circulated around, and actually it's been circulated for a while, to bring back Constantine. It's now reached 50,000 signatures.
Wow. Well, he was awesome in the Arrow episode.
Yeah, and I think that has fueled a lot, because it's been around for a while. I think his appearance on Arrow kicked that up a little more.
Well, he was needed. I mean, you saw where he fit. And
their target, I think, is probably rather than a broadcast network, a cable network, or possibly Netflix.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think they tried to go to the Vampire Diaries world a little too much, and and that sort of occult drama that people like, and I don't know. I just don't think it hit right.
Yeah.
But now that it's within Flaro, maybe it's got roots. We can.
Yeah.
I mean, he was awesome in the show.
Oh yeah.
He was great relief, comic relief.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he's awesome at looking like he's all possessed and stuff. And
yeah. The physical acting of the guy's name is Matt Smith. Is that right?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, he did an incredible job, like you said, doing the physical parts of being in a trance or casting a spell and pulling that stuff out pulling it off without looking like an idiot.
The tattoo transfer was one of the coolest parts.
That was cool, yeah.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Like whatever that thing is on Oliver's stomach now.
Yeah. Yeah, which we saw that in the flashback, but they haven't referenced it in current time. It's going to something's going to come up.
I love Oliver. I know we're jumping ahead here. I apologize but I love Oliver. Just like after it's like this big epic spiritual cult moment. Yeah. Oliver's like, "What the hell are you doing?"
Yeah. Like, what the hell was that?
I was like, "What a line, man!"
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? You think Constantine should come back? And how would they do it? Like at another season or like a brand new show?
I think, first off, I think it's highly unlikely that he will, because with it being canceled by another network, it kind of puts a stink on it.
Yeah.
I mean, and quite frankly, 50,000 signatures.
Yeah, it's not
that much.
No.
Yeah, it's not that much. I think there's a certain small number of people that would love it and would rabidly watch it and protect it, but whether it'll actually happen, I don't know.
It could be that this energy could fuel some DVD and digital sales for the show.
It's possible,
just to have that connection, right? It's like, well, we don't have anything else but that, so let's just consume it.
Let's do that,
and then come out later with something and see, all right, we'll see how it does.
It's kind of like Firefly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it was the ratings for that show were crappy,
but it's one of the most cultly followed shows.
Beloved, absolutely beloved by people.
I had to watch it after the fact.
Yeah.
Like a friend of mine was like chastised me for not knowing all about Firefly, and I was like, he's like, dude, you would have loved it, and I was like,
and it's one of those things that I was the same way. I never watched it while I was on live. I vaguely knew of it.
Right.
I just hadn't made a point to sit down and watch it. I've watched it now, and I think it's awesome.
Right? It's like space cowboy kind of cargo ship thing.
But I can also see why it wasn't successful. Yeah. It's a very quirky thing.
Right.
And it needs something like that needs at least a couple seasons to catch on.
Yeah.
And if you're on a network that's not willing to give it that time.
It was Sci-Fi, right? That had
it was on Fox, I think.
Oh. Wow, I didn't know it made a network like that.
I think so.
But it was cable.
No, I'm pretty sure it was broadcast.
Huh? Interesting.
So, but and same thing with Constantine. It was on NBC, so it's even less likely to get a chance to spread its legs and and actually grab on and grab that
Become
audience.
that great show it was meant to be.
Yeah, it was on Fox. Yeah, I just looked up Firefly.
On Firefox?
Yes, yeah.
Your browser?
Made a whole new network.
Oh, you're using Chrome, you liar.
Yeah.
So, really funny random fact, in Cornelius, there's actually a Firefly-themed salon.
Wow.
Like, outside, it's even, like, very reminiscent of that logo of the Firefly script with the glow and stuff. It's right off of Old Statesville Road, and I drove by and I was like, Firefly. Oh, that's clever. And I was like, I pulled up my phone, and I was like, that's the same logo.
Huh.
And I realized it's the owner is like obsessed.
Obviously
with it. So if you want to walk out with alien hairdo,
that's cool.
You can do it right in Cornelius.
There. That's cool. Okay. Now last night, you did get a chance to watch The Flash last night, right?
I did, and I watched the crossover sizzle or preview.
Yeah, we've got to wait 2 weeks now.
Lord.
Before we get a new episode. But
I can't eat my Thanksgiving dinner and have that on my mind.
I know. Yeah, my daughter is going nuts. But the way you look at it, and I told her, I was like, okay, yeah, we got to wait 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the crossover.
Mid-season
It's
finale.
the mid-season finale, and they've announced it's going to feature 9
heroes.
That's
amazing.
It's going to be jam-packed.
We'll get Ray Palmer back, obviously.
Yeah, so that's what we were trying to figure, like who all's going to be in it, because we got Flash and Arrow, then the 2 Canaries.
Yep. Mr. Terrific.
I wonder if I hadn't thought about him, but we got the
back.
Hawks.
Yeah.
So that gets us to 6.
Right.
Then Adam.
What about Diggle?
Diggle, I guess, would count.
Yeah. Flash?
No, I counted him.
Oh.
And then...
What about Jay Garrick?
Yeah, maybe Jay Garrick, if he gets his speed back. Maybe Firestorm. So it could be,
Could be we got our 9 here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
well, that's going to be great.
But you also got Thea. You've got who could count.
That's right.
Roy could come back.
At any point,
as Arsenal.
Right.
So it's interesting, but it's been said that we will have both the Hawks.
Yeah.
So we
saw
a real introduction and a vibe of Hawk Girl.
Oh man, she looks great.
Oh yeah.
Really good.
It's really good.
I'm excited to see how they pull off that CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to know the story and know it's like, okay, she's now at least pseudo dating Cisco.
Right.
Is starting to get a thing with him. I was like, okay, there's a Hawkman out there who's gonna whoop that ass.
And isn't well, I guess later on, doesn't Hawkwoman and John Stewart?
Yeah.
They have a relationship too.
But there was no Hawkman.
At the time
in the equation at that time.
Okay.
Because they are reincarnated over and over again.
Right.
And if they follow the story, and I think they are doing this, when she's reincarnated, she has no knowledge of past lives. He does.
So he's going to find her.
Yeah, he has to find her.
Wow.
And let her know of her legacy.
Wow.
And that was the thing. If you ever watched Smallville, when they did the Justice Society episode on Smallville, he was there, and there's a reason he was so bitter. It's because she had died and had been dead, and so like basically now he's just waiting to die so he could be reincarnated.
Oh God.
And find her again.
What an existence.
He was a grouchy son of a bitch. So
he's hawkish.
He was hawkish, yes. Yeah.
That's going to be great. Oh my gosh, I'm so pumped for that.
Yeah. And you, in that sizzle reel, you got to see him, not in.
No, they like stood and did the like camera pan.
Yeah,
type
but
thing.
you got to see. I believe you got to see her talking to Hawkman.
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah.
I think I remember.
I thought it was them all standing together, like they did like a.
Yeah, but there was like in the different shots you got. There was one point where she was talking to him.
Oh.
But we did when Cisco vibed on her. He got at first he got an image that he thought was a guy with wings.
Yeah.
Then later when he kissed her, he actually got the full image of her, that it was her.
Right.
With the wings. So he figured then, yeah, that is okay. Yeah, that's the shot of 1, 2, 3.
Not enough there.
That's just 7.
So that's basic Team Arrow.
Yeah.
And then White Canary, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then who were we saying? Maybe Terrific. Oh, the Atom, right? We're missing the Atom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess
we'll
see. Yeah.
That was the guy from Smallville.
Oh God.
Yeah, he had an awesome helmet. It was really cool looking.
Yeah, he's kind of looks like the old school Hawkman. They've
Yeah.
got this a little more upgraded.
Yeah. That's the more the
Thangarian.
yeah, the silver modern age is what they're going with there. But yeah, it was in Smallville. It was specifically he was part of the Justice Society,
Okay.
so he was definitely. And that was, I think it was in the last season. I believe I have the DVD that has that on
That
it.
Justice
So
Society one?
Yeah, I need to look it up because they had Dr. Fate was on there.
Yeah. Was that Liberty Bell?
Yep.
Or Miss Liberty? I always forget.
No, it was Liberty Bell.
No, Liberty Bell has a bell literally on her uniform.
That's right. Now that was that's
Star Girl? Miss America?
No.
Oh, I forget her name. Yeah.
Crap, I don't remember. But she was she was part of the JSA.
Star Girl.
This is Stargirl. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, she was a younger member that had been brought into the JSA.
Cool.
But yeah, he was a grouchy one because he was just like I said, he was just waiting to die. So he could be reincarnated and he could find her again. So
that's going to be cool. It'd be great to see how they do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we only have to wait 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So, now, and from Ant-Man, Michael Douglas says that he has been contacted about the Ant-Man sequel.
Yeah, Ant-Man kind of fell off the radar.
Yeah, it just got released on DVD.
Yeah, I saw.
But yeah, they talked to him in an interview, and they said that he said that he'd been contacted, and he's actually looking forward to it because now it's established. Where his issue with the first movie was he had to do so much exposition to explain everything. And he said now things are established.
They can
So
move into a new story.
Exactly. Yeah, we can move into a new story. So
cool.
And they released online. They released the end credit scene where I forget who was it. It's not Janet. Was that who it was in the Ant-Man movie?
It was the daughter.
Yeah.
The mother was gone or deceased. I forget. But,
yeah, she was deceased.
Yeah, but it was the daughter of Ant-Man.
Michael Douglas, Hank Pym takes her in to show her the
suit, right?
Suit
that he made for
her
right.
mom.
That's right.
So that's the end credit scene. So you see like the next one. I think the next one is they're playing around with calling it Ant-Man and Wasp.
Huh.
So yeah. I don't know. I
mean, will they integrate into the Avengers? Yeah, it's like I would love to know. Like, how deep on this path are we gonna go?
Yeah. See, I still haven't seen Ant-Man.
That's good.
So
I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Like the Atom special effects are good.
Yeah.
Ant-Man's incredible.
Okay.
Like for
cool.
shrink stuff,
Yeah.
they worked it so well.
Yeah. Well, they had a little more budget
On
a movie than a TV show. So, but yeah, I need to see to pick that up and watch it because I haven't seen it yet. So now, of course, Star Wars is a little bit of a huge thing going on right now.
Yeah, I didn't see this. What is this Star
on the poster?
Killer?
Yeah, on the poster, you can see in the background. There's a lot of things going on in the poster.
Yeah.
But if you look in the background, there's something that looks like, kind of like the Death Star. That has been confirmed. It is the Star Killer base, which is a new iteration of the Death Star.
Oh, it's not this guy from Force Unleashed? Darth Star Killer?
No.
He's a non-canon
exactly.
Sith guy.
That's all been it's all been retconned.
Great.
But in the poster, you can see it. Like I said, there's a whole lot going on in the poster. It's like a standard.
I
there
see.
It is right there. Yeah,
it kind of looks like a Trade Federation ship, but with the dome. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That is the Star Killer base. And it is it's been confirmed that is the new version of the super weapon that was the Death Star.
It's been confirmed. That's no moon again.
That's no moon. That's right. And I think it's interesting because in the original script that George Lucas came up with,
Yeah.
it was Anakin Starkiller.
Instead of
That was
Skywalker.
Yeah, they thought Starkiller was just a little too much,
A little
so they dialed it back in a little bit.
I mean, it was the 70s,
It's true, yeah.
the golden age
Yeah.
of violence.
Yeah, exactly. And Princess Leia, she's not a princess anymore.
No.
She's a general. She will be referred
nice.
to as General. I don't know if it's General Leia or General Organa.
Yeah, right. 'Cause she's Leia
Or
Organa.
maybe is she changing her name because now she knows her heritage?
Yeah, would she be a Skywalker?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe she's Solo.
Maybe. She might have hyphenated. She might be Organa,
Organa
Skywalker, Solo,
Oh, that'd be a mouthful.
Junior, Esquire. Sorry.
And Admiral Akbar can be seen in the newest TV spot in the background. Well, it might not be Akbar, but it's somebody.
Mon
It's a Mon
Calamari.
Calamari.
Yeah.
So everybody kind of assumed, jumped to the conclusion that, it's got to be Akbar. Not necessarily.
It's a cameo.
It's a trap.
Oh, it's a cameo, Timmy. Come on, you play along.
It was fun when I watched Return of the Jedi in the theater again, like hearing the number of people that yelled, "It's a trap!"
Oh,
It was awesome.
I love it. Yeah, I love that.
And Andy Serkis, who is the motion capture guru,
Yeah.
he is playing Supreme Leader Snoke. So
Awesome.
I would immediately usually say, Andy Serkis is playing. It's a it's a CGI thing.
No.
Not necessarily,
Is it a
because
suit?
he played Ulysses Claw in Age of Ultron.
Oh.
He was the physical guy.
Get out.
So I don't think necessarily that it has to be a CGI guy.
Okay.
But he said in an interview that Supreme Leader Snoke is, quote, severely damaged. Although he's a powerful leader, he comes across as vulnerable, very scarred and disfigured. But, does he mean scarred and disfigured physically or emotionally?
Emotionally?
Yes. Or is he just so much crap has happened to him?
Yeah.
He's just
He's beyond.
he's just a bastard.
Oh, man. That's great.
So it still doesn't really tell you whether he's going to be a CGI character or whether a physical character.
Oh, man. Oh, cool. So he's got sort of like a big long head, and then he's got like a little breather mask on his face, but it looks like his body's all parts and stuff.
So I don't know if it's maybe it might be a mixture.
Well, good. I'm glad they're bringing more practical effects into the mix.
Well, they've leaned more on practical effects than I think than CGI this time, which is a damn good thing.
Well, you look now at the old the prequel movies, and they don't quite, even the special edition.
Yeah.
There's like a gray mist over the special effects, and when we were back then, we were just so amazed. Whoa!
Yeah.
I think we overlooked it, and now when we see it, we're like, damn, that's awful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for the longest time, you could, before they cleaned them up with special editions, you could see trash mats around on the original movies.
Oh, wow.
You could see trash mats around the TIE fighters and spaceships that was just like little boxes that kind of followed them. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
We never noticed it because when it first came out, because you just you didn't have the quality to actually
see that,
point them out.
Yeah, with the stars coming through
when it got put on VHS and DVD, especially DVD, you could see them big time.
Oh, that's
because
great.
The quality came out a little better.
I love that you call them trash mats, because I've heard them garbage mats too.
Garbage mats, yeah, whichever, yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's I'm looking forward to seeing Snoke, and I'm trying to I'm on the fence.
Mm-hmm.
Like I try to kind of keep up with stuff, especially doing this for the show.
Yeah,
I want to keep up with what's going on, but I don't want to delve too much into it.
Okay.
I want to kind of stay back because I want to go in and just watch it. I don't want any room, and thankfully J.J. Abrams has been really
good
tight-lipped about
it.
everything.
Right.
So we've got thoughts of what the plot might be, but we haven't really heard anything at all.
And then, we should mention, we got
yes.
on Thursday, tomorrow at 8, we have Chuck Wendig coming here to Queens. He's going to be talking about Star Wars Aftermath. I listened to his interview on WFAE, Mike Collins' Charlotte Talk Show, and he had said that like he doesn't know too much, but he was sort of given enough to know like what to lead into.
Yeah.
And even his book, I'm getting a fairly good thread. I won't be done by tomorrow, but where it's really a lot of that infill story. You know and it's going to be good. I would suggest. I mean, I know you want to go in and be like open and ready, but some good stuff.
Well, it's just like the Shattered Empire, and we were reading that, and it never really. I mean, I was just reading the story and never really made the connection. The people that we saw, the couple.
That's Poe Dameron's parents.
Yes, exactly.
So I thought it was going to be Ray, but it's Poe Dameron.
Yeah.
So
you've seen a couple of shots of him with Leia, especially.
Right.
So there's
he's
a connection there.
A super X-wing pilot.
Yeah.
One very interesting thing is that, and this is something I want you to keep in the back of your mind, ponder a little bit,
wrap your head around it
as you're on the journey to the Force Awakens. Is Poe Dameron's mom got the Force tree with Luke.
Okay.
And planted it on her planet when she went and retired from the rebellion, right?
Okay.
And they had Poe, I guess.
Yeah.
That tree's got to do something.
Yeah.
It can't just stay there and grow, So like he's gonna. I wonder if there's some story in there about him climbing it, or I don't know.
Or
eating fruit from it, or I don't know what it can do. If that maybe gives him metachlorians or something that maybe Force activates him.
Yeah, it's probably like just a concentration, like on Dagobah, the tree there, the place that he goes and he fights the fake Vader and
it was
when
a
he
dark
kills him.
place.
Yeah, when he kills him, that could be the same thing there.
Right.
In the extended universe stuff, that was explained as a dark Jedi came looking for Yoda, and he killed him, and that's where it was, and that's why that was a dark place.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, but again, that's all been wiped away, so who's to say that wasn't just a Force tree there that was...
Yeah, right. Who knows if Yoda had grabbed something before he left from the temple?
Yeah.
Because we don't know the circumstances, right?
True.
We didn't see that Yoda went
we
to
saw
Dagobah.
him take off, but that's, he could very well have taken one, or take a seed.
Right.
Like a little orange pit or something. Or
Daniel-san, clip leaves. Yeah. Sorry, wrong movie?
Yeah, well,
all right.
It's okay. From the world of the Justice League, Justice League Part 1 will start shooting in the first or second quarter of the year in the UK, and Mara will reportedly appear.
Is that Arthur Curry's wife?
Yes,
Cool.
Aquaman's wife.
Nice.
So, of course, immediately people started talking about...
Targaryen?
Yeah.
Daenerys?
Daenerys, yeah. She'd be the Khaleesi of the sea.
Oh, isn't Mara like real tough? Is that
yes.
like her, she's no nonsense lady?
Yeah.
Arthur's like, all right, you gotta relax.
Yeah, he's more of the diplomatic. Well, I mean, it depends on what characterization you're talking about. Yeah. Because like the Peter David, which I think is what they're leaning towards, he was, all right, we're going to kick ass. Kind of.
Because you've got Khal Drogo, so you gotta go blazing.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to see who they cast and how they do the characterization.
Cool.
In Wonder Woman, I don't remember the guy's name. One of the guys that are in, not Chris Pine, but another guy in it, tweeted out a picture of him and Chris Pine.
Yeah.
In period.
Right, we're in the World War II uniform. Yeah.
And the rumor is he's playing two parts: Steve Trevor in the modern age, and his grandfather, who crashed on Paradise Island.
Oh, and then Wonder Woman fell in love with.
Yes.
Right.
So then she'll meet the grandson later in modern time.
Weird.
And so that's where, that'll be a little
weird.
That's a little odd, but
yeah.
But yeah, the picture of of them in the period garb looks great.
Yeah. Chris Pine got the the pompadour hair, and he's all ready to rock.
It looks like Captain America.
He does.
Yeah. Now, Gambit seems like they may have finally zoomed in on their director.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah. Doug Liman is in talks to direct the Gambit solo movie. He's known for Swingers, The Bourne Identity, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Awesome.
So he's got some action
and humor.
background. And
Swingers
humor.
was
Swingers
awesome.
was hilarious. Yeah.
Your money, Mike. Your money, Mikey. That was a great movie.
Yeah. So
Vegas, baby.
So hopefully they can get it. I mean, if it's him, that's great. But you got to get somebody nailed down quick. Or
Yeah.
This is gonna. I mean.
Well, Magic Mike XXL already came out.
Oh, there you go.
So Channing, or Channing, not Tanning. Channing Tatum, Tanning Chatham, Tanning Chatham.
I'm not going to talk about that one.
There's a movie in there.
Yeah,
That's
somewhere.
a good idea.
Yeah. And the Suicide Squad movie is intended to be PG-13.
Really? Damn.
So they're going. I mean, they're
With
not
such
going
dark
for it like
Joker and Harley, and
yeah, they're not going for it like Deadpool, but they're going. It's not going to be like specifically a kids movie.
okay.
So, but it's. I mean, like you said, that's a really dark Joker.
Yeah.
So
And Harley's twisted. She
seems
seems twisted.
very twisted. So,
Yeah.
so it's more. I mean, it's kind of riding the line. It's not going to be hard R like Deadpool is. And that's the thing. Emma's like, oh, well, look, it's Deadpool. I was like, you ain't going to see that. It's not happening. So you can just get rid of that.
Oh man. Well.
But Suicide Squad, it will be PG-13. So
Okay. Well, there
now-
you go, Tim. You got to take her.
That's true.
Yep. She'll be old enough now.
Yep. The Prometheus sequel
Mm.
has a new name now.
Yeah, I saw.
After its other new name. It's now going to be called Alien Covenant.
Yep.
It was originally, I don't think it was named originally. It was just like Prometheus 2.
Yeah. The
But
Revenge.
then
Electric Boogaloo.
That's right. But to attach it to the Alien mythos, just in case you missed it, they were going to call it Alien Paradise Lost. And now it's changed to Alien Covenant. So just
Lots of like biblical terms here thrown around.
There's a lot of juggling here because there's a new Alien movie with Sigourney Weaver and the guy who played Hicks, but that's been put on the back burner until this one's done.
Oh Lord.
So so there's a lot of juggling here.
There is no Dana, only Zool.
Only Zool. So, and we told you last week about Mystery Science Theater
And
doing their Kickstarter. They did it.
yeah,
They got their $2 million.
Sweet.
I don't know.
3 episodes, right?
Yeah, that would
Sweet.
get. I don't know if they've went above that. So because they were saying $2 million would get you 3 episodes, but they're hoping for 5.
Right, which was how much? 12 million or
That was
6 million?
No. The $5 million would get 12 episodes.
Oh, okay.
So, but they did get their $2 million goal, and there's going to be a new host. Because
Yeah.
that was originally the guy had said, it needs to be a new host, and that's when a lot of people were like, "Hey, wait a minute." I mean,
It had a couple hosts, didn't it?
it did. It had 2.
It had the original guy
it
and
was Joel, and then what was the other guy's name?
Ray.
I just-
Yeah. Tom Servo.
I'm thinking
Pro.
I'm getting the guys from Blue's Clues in my head.
Oh my God.
It's a whole different guy.
Damn.
But the new host will be Jonah Ray from Nerdist.
Let's see. Awesome. Right. Jonah Ray from Nerdist, which is also connected to At Midnight, Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Which
Hardwick
he's
started
changed.
it, yeah.
Yeah, he's now at Hardwick. I
Yeah,
think?
he announced that on Talking Dead the other week that
That it was-
his the Twitter handle at Nerdist is now for the company, and he is at Hardwick or something like that. I forget.
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it was Joel Hodgson.
yeah.
And then Mike
he was the
Nelson.
creator. And Mike Nelson. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joel was the one that was doing the Kickstarter.
Oh.
But yeah, he wants to have a new host to kind of breathe some new life into it. So I don't know if they're going to have if it's going to be the same puppets, if it's going to be new, whether it's going to be like a different concept, or because the concept was it was stupid, but it was just a way to get them sitting in front of a movie screen talking.
Right, and he had to like do that for a living, right? For,
yeah,
like,
that were
some
They
job.
would send those to him, and what was it they said? They would feed on their emotions or something like that, so they sent them bad movies so that they would be miserable. Or something like that. I forget.
I remember
exactly
his two bosses that would come on the screen
Yeah.
and like yell at him and tell him he's awful and
Yeah.
worthless and stuff, and then he'd sit and watch the movies.
Yeah, they would make fun of them and like make little jokes about them and stuff.
I just hope they have that scene where the camera backs up and all the giant
All the
doors,
doors
shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. And Ryan Gosling has confirmed that he will be appearing in the Blade Runner sequel.
Yeah, cool.
That's about all he could say, but he did confirm he was going to be in it.
I wonder who he'll play.
I don't know.
Maybe a younger Harrison Ford.
Well, Harrison Ford's going to be in
right?
it.
Oh,
So maybe
a
that will be
flashback?
kind of or maybe it's like a passing of the torch.
could be.
If they plan to do more stuff after.
That'd be cool. I'd love a futuristic,
Yeah.
future noir. It's been a while since we've had some good stuff like that.
Yeah, anything cyberpunk, I'm all for.
Like I saw Akira the other day, and I was like, "It still holds up, man. This
Yeah.
is still beautiful."
Yep.
So that'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be cool. So, well, that is our look at our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper car, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Brian Selfries, and you have been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
And we're back. All right, Timmy, it is time for you to cross the Trivia Troll Trivia Bridge.
Yay!
Okay,
Yeah,
and actually
I do love trivia, and so this is really cool. But every week I'm just like, oh god, I'm going to get them all wrong.
well, it's good. That's a healthy fear. That's called respect. That's good. So maybe you are human. Maybe we should cut this out. All right. So Timmy, you'll on the Trivia Troll Triviathon. We're still branding it. This week's topic is again Star Trek.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to be all across the board. All right, we're going to see what's going on here and see if we can get this going on. Okay, all right. So, Whoopi Goldberg, her character is Guinan. Mm-hmm. What race is she a part of?
Elorian?
Yes. All right, the Elorian.
Elorian.
Yes.
It's
very good. All right. Yeah.
Yay.
All right. Okay. All right. Next. We talked last time about the ancient Vulcan tradition of Pon farr,
mm-hmm.
right? Which released what?
Pon farr was the mating the deal. I don't really know what it released. I don't know if I respect their privacy. They just get a little randy every 7 years.
The ears twinkle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's called Pon farr. It's basically their mating. They gave up their their logic.
Just a yes or no question.
Yeah, just shut up.
Yeah. Didn't ask for a definition. Okay. Thank you so much.
Well, you said what did it release? It released the crazies.
It released the vapors.
Like, Spock got the vapors.
What is the ritual called that purges emotion?
Kolinar?
Ooh, we got it. Damn. All right. Damn.
You thought you had me on that one, didn't you?
I thought I got it. All right. See, I shouldn't have taken you down that road because you were like, I saw synapse because you were like, oh, wait, is you talking about a yeah. All right. Last one here. All right. Who is the creator of Data? What was his name?
Dr. Soong?
Full name, please. You're right. What's his full name for the win? I'll give it to you, but this is your pride.
Noonian?
Yeah. Dang. Wow. You've escaped me, Timmy. How dare you?
What's he? Hey.
Don't give me the finger.
No, 2 weeks ago when it was Star Trek, and I thought, oh, yeah, I can nail Star Trek. And you
didn't study.
Yeah.
You rolled in there. Like, I could spell. Good job, Timmy. All right, you got 3 for 3. All right, you're killing it here. All right. Awesome. By the way, we're going to average you at the end of the year and see how you've done here. Okay.
That's scary.
All right. So this, folks, has been the rickety trivia troll bridge, and Timmy has successfully crossed it.
I did.
Let's go spin the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, first off, one of my favorites, Bloodshot Reborn. They're making their way towards a new story arc that's going to start in January with Bloodshot Reborn number 10. It's a story arc called Analog Man. They're also going to release the Bloodshot Reborn Analog Man Director's Cut. That's going to come out in February, which will actually be a stripped down black and white version or reprint of episode 10 or issue 10 that's going to be coming out in January.
Oh, cool.
So the Valiant is saying that the artwork is so striking that they wanted to strip it down and give a new version of it for people to experience the art. So they're really high on this.
Oh, wow.
The artwork for this. The story is, and I'm interested how this is going to go, because right now it's in modern time. He's reclaiming the nanites that were at the end of the big crossover, the Valiant crossover last summer. At the end of that, the Geomancer, as she was dying, pulled the nanites out of him to give him a chance at a real life. And this series has been the nanites were pulled out, but they went to other people, and they're driving people crazy and making them kill. So he has to go and reclaim them. But it's
how does he get them right?
He just Geomancer. They come back to him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come back to him. They want to
be with Daddy.
Yeah, so they're making them into, like, the nanites into some kind of weird possession thing.
Wow.
But it's also, since the Geomancer pulled them out of him and she died, he's basically become a drunk because he doesn't know how to deal without the nanites.
Of course.
So it's one of those things. It's like, as soon as there may have been another option other than taking them back into him, but he's just like, oh, I got to go get them. I got to, they can't handle it, but I can, so I got to take them back into me. It's like he's looking for an excuse.
You got like get your fix voice on there.
Yes, exactly.
Is that how he reacted?
It. Yes,
that's wow.
Exactly it. And he doesn't necessarily want to become Bloodshot again, but part of him does.
He will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He has.
Sure.
He already is. But that's now they're kind of evenly split between him and another guy, and he's straight evil.
Oh.
He's and smart too. He knows, like, the nanites are telling him what he needs to do to beat Bloodshot.
Oh, because they know his weaknesses and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So like they're almost helping this other guy. So it's been a really good series, but like I said, it's set in modern, now. This that starts in Analog Man that starts at number 10 is set in a post-apocalyptic L.A. Where Bloodshot has now become known as the Analog Man.
What a downgrade of a name.
Yeah.
I am a track man.
So I'm interested to see how they do, because right now I think we're on issue 8. So there's going to be something happen before 10 comes out. Is this like an offshoot story, or is this the progression? So are we going to be in the future where it's a post-apocalyptic and I'm interested to see what this is going to be.
This does sound cool.
It's a series that I'm reading. It's like, okay, how are we making that transition? How are we getting to that? And if they're so high on the art from this that they're releasing a director's cut,
it better be
really
great.
Looking forward to seeing the artwork in it. So
that's cool. Who's the artist?
I'm not sure. They didn't even say.
Oh.
So
they can't promote it with a name, I wonder.
Well, well, they may have it. I just didn't write it down.
Okay. It's always an explanation.
But I mean, it has been a really well drawn series. So
cool.
But I'm interested. I'm looking forward to it. So, like I said, it's one of the books that I read. So
awesome. Yeah, you don't see much Valiant news. I mean, that's kind of big and bad. And I have seen some Bloodstock stuff come up.
Yeah. It's
here
really
and there.
Good.
So that's
really good. So.
I guess what that's pointing to. That's cool.
Yeah. And apparently, Cable will be joining the Avengers with his best buddy Deadpool.
He's going to get them kicked out of the Avengers.
This is getting weirder and weirder.
That's right. It's time for the New Mutants.
The final pages of issue number 2 of Uncanny Avengers shows Cable showing up, and then the cover of number 3 features Cable on the cover.
Oh.
So that's going to be interesting. There's a
Oh, he looks good.
Yeah,
or
there's
this,
a
is this the version? No, this is Cable and X-Force.
Yeah.
Oh, is it this one?
That's it, yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, he looks pretty classic.
Yeah.
Cool.
The gigantic gun.
Yeah,
the big
super gun.
The shoulder pads and everything.
Right.
There's a series. There's a Deadpool Cable series that's coming out. I haven't read yet.
Because it's still coming out. I know you're good, Timmy, but I know I was wondering.
No,
about that.
it's already out. It's like it's in its run. I just haven't read it.
Gotcha.
But nothing sums up the '90s like those two.
Oh man, really
guns and blood and
and
muscles and
totally
shoulder pads,
glowing eyes. And, yeah, it isn't Cable the futuristic son of Jean Grey and or is he the son of Alex Summers and Madeline Pryor?
I think he is.
I forget what that is, right? Because he comes to be from like Days of Future Past type stuff, and but I forget that whole role because I know he's from the future.
He is from the future, yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure of his parentage. Let's see here if we can look that. Nathan Summers is his name.
Yeah. So he'd be Scott or Alex would be his parent.
Yeah. Let's see if it's looking for origin.
This was like a big deal.
Birth. That's a creators, Chris Claremont, but I'm looking
back
for
in the
parents.
90s. Here we are, stuck on the interwebs.
I know. Real name Nathan Christopher Charles Summers.
Scott Summers and Jean Grey. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Okay. So Cyclops and
Marvel
and
Girl,
Phoenix or Marvel Girl, whatever.
Yeah,
depending on when you read
what era
you call her.
Yeah, right.
So,
cool. Well, that sounds like a gosh. It's like they're between the lumberjacks and all these trends coming. People like what I saw some on Facebook say Nirvana is a band, not a clothing label. Like Dear Millennials, like Nirvana. Yeah. So it's like all this stuff sort of rehashed, and these comic book characters are great.
I just think it's hilarious that now the nostalgia is the 90s.
So sad. so sad.
Now,
this is some big news, right?
This is really big news. Frank Miller says he plans on writing another chapter of the Dark Knight saga.
Awesome.
And this is because the Dark Knight Master Race that's coming out.
3, right?
Dark Knight 3,
yep.
The Master Race, is written by Brian Alvarillo, I think is his name.
Okay.
But it's not written by Frank Miller.
No.
So that's why he's saying, okay, what he's done is fine, but now I'm going to write one.
Awesome.
So
great.
So the trilogy has now become a quadrilogy or whatever. I don't know what you'd call that. It's become a saga.
I love it.
And he also said, and this is really weird. He also says he wants to do an all-age spinoff featuring Carrie Kelly in like a Nancy Drew kind of series.
That would be killer.
I think it would be too. I mean, it's
Carrie
definitely
Keller
weird.
would be good too. She'd be a blind Robin, which I think would be very, very, very wonderfully PC, but maybe harder to do.
It would mix the two things he's famous for: Daredevil and Batman.
There you right, and a female Robin, right, with a slingshot. There you go.
So yeah, I think it could work. I don't know if it will happen, but
I hope so.
Something he said in an interview.
I'm painting Carrie Kelly a commission right now for a friend, and it's in my studio. And when my daughter walks through there, she'll be like, "Why is that lady dressed up as Robin?" I'm like, "Tell her about her."
She was Robin. Yep.
And then she's like, "Oh, cool. Can we read that comic?" And I'm like, "No."
Nope.
And she's like, "Why not?" I'm like, "Well, because it's dark."
Yeah, it's really dark.
And she's like, "Oh, okay." She didn't get it. She's pissed off,
exactly.
So it's like an all-age thing. I think would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes the fact that there is a female Robin is interesting.
Right.
So
besides Stephanie Brown, right?
Yeah. Well, that's been all retconned out of
course, existence.
This is. Dark Knight is still in an offshoot. Own little continuity.
Alternate. Future.
Yeah. So I don't know. That would be interesting to see if it's set in that world or if it's Carrie Kelly
in regular continuity.
She did show up in regular continuity, I think, at some
Okay.
point. Not as Robin, obviously,
but as Carrie.
But yeah. Cool. A character called Carrie Kelly showed up. So
okay.
Now in Squadron Supreme #1, I think is already out. I'm not sure if it was released last week.
I don't know. Yeah, I haven't. It's not on my list.
Or whether it's coming out. But they are killing off Namor.
For real?
Yep.
Damn.
And actually, the cover, the Alex Ross variant cover for #2 shows Hyperion holding Namor's severed head.
Oh,
that's pretty dark.
Damn. It's incredibly dark.
So,
Squadron Supreme?
Yes.
I don't think it's out. Yeah, I don't think it's out. I see Squadron Sinister.
Okay.
Supreme? No,
yeah, I don't think
it's
not
out yet.
Not yet. But they, this is probably like hype before it comes out to get people to buy it. But yeah, they are killing off Namor.
Namor's dead. Wow.
Yeah, because he during Secret Wars he destroyed somebody's world or something. I forget now what it was, but he's been kind of over the last couple of years been kind of moving over
back to evil. Like he was, yeah.
Yeah.
Originally.
And before Secret Wars, they killed him, or they said that he was killed. Black Bolt and Black Panther left him on a world that there was an incursion happening. So they dropped him from their little ship that they were on. They dropped him, and Black Panther somebody asked one of them, Black Bolt or Black Panther, about why they did that. And I was like, well, that he could survive.
It'd probably be Black Panther, because
Black
Bolt would be
talks,
like, well,
he kills everybody.
And then everybody's dead.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, so they were talking about that he, that fall that he took from the ship, he could survive that. But then they dropped something on him, which again, he could get out from under that. He could survive that, and he could get out from under it. But it would keep him there long enough so he couldn't escape the incursion.
So they set him up.
So they were because he had done this stuff and like he had crossed the line too many times, and they wanted him to suffer. And but he escaped out of that and survived. So now they're killing him again. So I'm going, because that was the first thing when I saw it. I was like, oh, they're killing Namor. Wait a minute, didn't they just kill him? But it didn't stick. So now
it was an attempt, and
is this gonna stick this time?
Wow. So it's going to take Hyperion to do that.
I think Hyperion is the one that kills him. So
wow. Okay.
Yeah, he's like a Superman analog. basically.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Awful looking one. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my lord. Okay. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if it does. There's a lot of people claiming that they're killing him off because they don't own the movie rights to him.
Who owns it? Sony?
Whoever owns Fantastic Four.
Fox?
That would be. Is it Fox?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Sony owns
X-Men.
X-Men.
Yeah.
Fox owns no, Sony owns Spider-Man.
Oh, right.
Fox owns X-Men and Fantastic Four.
Oh.
And
How'd they get Namor?
And with that comes with the Fantastic Four.
I guess right because he was introduced.
Yeah. He was introduced there. Yeah.
Well, he was way before the Fantastic Four ever existed.
Yeah, he was like their first hero.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, the Human Torch was the android.
First Human Torch. Yeah, that was the android.
And Toro.
And Toro. Yeah. So he was like their first hero, but yeah, they don't. I mean, it's one of those things that if you would think if Fox is not doing anything specifically with Namor, could they pull him back? But could Namor carry a movie?
I don't know. If Aquaman can, then Namor maybe.
Yeah.
But Namor's always been so weird. I always think of him as the sunken Vulcan, right? Like you know how we call Super Spock like a Black Adam.
Yeah.
He's always been so serious in every role he's ever been in. It's like
how serious can you be running around in green panties?
With winged ankles.
With winged ankles, yeah.
That's right, and a flat head.
And that's how he could fly. I was like, so those little wings on his ankles make him fly. Those tiny little wings.
I thought that was so he could attract like sharks and stuff. And it's like his little flickering lure.
He's like fly fishing.
Yeah, I was like
with his ankles.
Yeah,
I don't know. But like I said, there's a lot of people saying that that's why they're killing him off. I don't know if that's true. They have right now the Fantastic Four is not together as a group, so maybe there's something to that. I don't know.
Yeah, right. As of Secret Wars, Sue is Doom's
Johnny's with the Inhumans,
right? Who's Grimm? I haven't seen Ben Grimm in the
he's
Secret
with
Wars series.
The Guardians.
Oh, really?
He's with the Guardians of the Galaxy, I believe.
And then there's two Reeds, right? There's the Reeds, like the bearded one.
Yeah.
And then there's the one guy who has like the helmet, who's like the evil Reed from. You don't know what I'm talking about?
Nope.
Timmy D. Okay. Let's see.
Secret Reed Richards.
Yeah. He has like a name like the Collector or something like that, or the.
Well, he's not the Collector. I mean,
of course.
Yeah.
Secret Wars. Let's see. Evil.
Oh, that's right. He was in the lifeboat.
Yeah, with the bad guys.
Yeah. The Cabal.
Exactly. What is his name? The Ultimate Reed, Evil Reed Richards. Yeah, he like wears the helmet. Let's see here if I can find the name.
Yeah, I haven't read Secret Wars in a while.
Well, it doesn't come out often enough.
I know. This is the
problem. When they push it to issue. Yeah, this is him. He wears like that helmet on his head. I remember
seeing him.
But he's a Reed. Him and Reed are, I think, from the other verses. Okay. Yeah, there he is there with the Maker. Yeah,
the Maker.
The Maker. Yeah, that's his name. So he's like he's kind of a bastard too in the story. It's such a good series so far. I mean, they're real. I wish it would.
I need to find like which one's out now, and like 7. Go ahead and read from 1 on up. So because I've forgotten so much now that
I'm getting them all. So I'll loan them to you when the time's right.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can.
I can do it in one fell swoop.
That's right. So. And then you can come on the show and then tell us about that multiverse.
Yeah. Now, Marvel and DC both have announced their February releases.
Cool.
Some notables for Marvel first: Spider-Man #1, which is Miles Morales.
Awesome.
Avengers Standoff: Welcome to Pleasant Hill. This is the beginning of a big Avengers crossover.
Okay.
The Pleasant Hill is the one that we were talking about a couple months ago. They announced Pleasant Hill is a town that is basically walled off.
Oh.
But it's to keep people inside.
So, are they walkers?
What's going on in there?
Yeah.
Who are these people and why are they being kept there?
Sounds creepy. Vampires.
Yeah. But the Avengers Standoff is Avengers crossover because they got like 4 different Avengers series now.
It's
There's
too many to keep up
all
with.
new, all different,
Yep.
Uncanny, New Avengers, and there's one other. What is it?
Is it Avengers Assemble? No, I forget what the
don't
one
know.
is.
I lost track.
Yeah.
I can't keep up.
Sorry.
with
Yeah.
it. But there's also a new Power Man and Iron Fist series starting in February. So number 1 will come out then. Also, that we talked about this last week, Deadpool and Works for Money. Number 1 comes out in February.
That looks fun.
That looks really fun. X-Men, Worst X-Man Ever, number 1, comes out in February. It's basically like a kid who's kind of a screw-up, finds out he's a mutant and goes to the Xavier school. So he's kind of...
I can't wait to see what his powers are.
Yeah, I know. I'm interested.
That's been like the basic story for some villains.
Yeah.
Like Proteus was a like a kid who had too much power and like couldn't control it, and he ultimately turned bad, seeking help. But then they were like, we don't know what to do, and his powers would hurt people, and kind of like Rogue, but not getting it under control.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly how that plays
sounds really
out.
funny though.
Yeah, I mean they hooked me with the name, the Worst X-Men Ever. So
totally.
Also, Squirrel Girl number 5,
Huh.
and usually like with these releases, the regular series. Yeah, I don't mention, this was coming out. Of course it's coming out because it's like a monthly series.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm mentioning number 5 of Squirrel Girl, there's an old lady Squirrel Girl from the future.
Awesome.
So Doreen from the future comes back to this time.
That's great.
And so you got and it was all the image that I saw was reminiscent of the Dark Knight with Carrie Kelly, the famous shot of them like this, jumping into battle.
Yeah, with the punch and the...
Yeah, it looked a lot like that.
Oh, that's great. They're going to...
With like a tubby, older lady Squirrel Girl, and then the smaller, like young Squirrel.
Yeah, the one
Girl.
that's today.
Yeah. So,
I got to say, like, seeing pictures of cons and stuff like that, I know we've been keeping track of, like, Harley Quinn and Deadpool as being the leading cosplay.
Yes.
That's making a...
Squirrel Girl
starting
to
come up.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, we're,
That's good.
And it's like...
That takes some doing, though. You got to have the tail and everything.
And the tights. And
Yeah.
So,
I lost count of the... at the last con we were at, I lost count of Deadpool's. It was ridiculous.
Over the top. Yeah. It's just,
So those are the ones coming from Marvel. For DC, Dark Knight Returns: The Last Crusade, which is a one-shot set in the Dark Knight universe, but before Dark Knight Returns.
Oh.
So we'll get a little. It's got Joker on the cover.
Okay.
So maybe we'll get a little insight into him.
Or what happened to the Robin.
Him, what happened to the Robin, and that makes Batman retire.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Superman, The Coming of the Superman, number 1. Written and drawn by Neil Adams.
Awesome.
I'm sold.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry,
sold.
were we high-fiving?
We're
All right,
high-fiving,
that's
yes. I'm sold
incredible.
on that one. And the story is even better. 3 heroes from Kandor emerge full size, fully powered, and
out of the jar? Like
yes.
What?
I don't know how that happened, but they come out, and there's 3 of them that join Superman to fight Darkseid.
Awesome.
Yeah, so you've got 3 fully powered
Kryptonians,
and they're all dressed as Superman. So, and one of them, I swear to God, looks like Guy Gardner.
Oh, damn. I was going to say, do they all have different mullets and stuff? Like, is it different? Like, Kandor's stuck in that time era.
Yeah.
Is it like retro Krypton where it's like, what's up, Soups?
Yeah, that would be awesome. And the hardcover Wonder Woman Earth 1.
Oh, cool.
Which is a
Silver
series
Age.
that they no, it's a series that they're doing. There was Superman year Earth 1, Batman year Earth 1, and now it's a reimagining. That's where we got Alfred that had been in the Royal Marines.
Okay.
That's where it's. I don't know if they've done any of the other, like if they've done Flash.
Is that how they
anything
cleaned
like
up Superman, where he wasn't Superboy, or he was, or?
No, this is totally separate. This has just been like maybe the last 3-4 years that they've done these. The first one was Superman Earth 1, and it was like a reimagining of Superman coming up There's no other heroes. It's just him trying to figure out what he's going to do with his powers and how he's going to. So it's like a retelling of the
origin story,
almost like Marvel's Ultimate.
Okay. Yeah.
Universe.
Okay.
And
so
they did the same thing.
They
did the same thing with Batman, and that's like they changed the story a little bit. And Alfred was used to be a Royal Marine, so he was part of his training, and so that's the Alfred we get on Gotham as well.
Right. Who's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good little series, but it's more, a little more adult. It's a little harder edged story usually.
That's cool.
And the cover of this Wonder Woman, Earth One, she's a beefy gal. She's a warrior.
Can put the hurt on. Yeah.
Good. She could bust up some people.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see that. Yeah, because they've always been pretty good stories. Now out today, on shelves today from DC, Action Comics 46, Batman 66, number 29.
Yes.
Batman and Robin Eternal, number 7. Batman Arkham Knight Genesis, number 4. Batman Europa, number 1. Bizarro, number 6, which that's got to be close to the last one of that. It's been canceled.
They called that canceled, yeah.
Dr. Fate, number 6.
Sweet.
Doomed, number 6, which has also been canceled. I'm not sure when it ends out, but Earth 2 Society, number 6. Green Lantern, The Lost Army, number 6. Harley Quinn, number 22. Martian Manhunter, number 6. New Suicide Squad, number 14. Secret 6, number 8. Telos, number 2.
Finally.
Titan Hunt, number 2, which I'm looking forward to reading that.
Yeah, you said.
Marvel, coming from Marvel, Astonishing Ant-Man, number 2. Black Knight, number 1. Captain America Sam Wilson, number 3, which I believe features Capwolf. He's turned into a werewolf again.
For justice.
For justice, that's right. Deadpool, number 2. Extraordinary X-Men, number 2. Kanan, the Last Padawan, number 8. Kanan, sorry. Mighty Thor, number 1. Which that's a new series starring the female, the Jane Foster.
Jane Foster. Yeah, it's good. So she'll have that and be in Avengers.
Yes.
Cool. All new, all different, guys.
All new, all different Avengers, yes. From Image, Huck, number 1. We've been talking about that for a while. Huck, number 1, will be coming out. I Hate Fairyland, number 2. I cannot wait to read that.
That's great.
I love that series. Invincible, number 125. Bloodshot Reborn, number 8. So, yeah, like I was saying, we're on number 8. So, number 10, we're going to have like a huge
rebirth.
right turn.
Yeah.
So, I'm interested to see how that is done. And also, Captain Canuck, number 5.
Yeah.
Comes out today.
Hey. What's that about? Yeah.
So that's a look at what's coming out today, and that's the spin of the comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have the part 4 of our Crisis on Infinite Earths Exploring the Multiverse segment.
Just now, another kid dropped out of school. There's one every 20 seconds. Over 200 kids an hour. That adds up to nearly 5,000 kids every school day.
If we do nothing, 3.5 million kids won't receive a diploma over the next 4 years. But there is someone who can change that. And that someone is you. United Way knows that kids who have a caring adult in their life are more likely to make it. So make a pledge. Tutor a child who needs help. Mentor a kid who needs someone on their side. Volunteer to read to children. Because the path to success or failure starts long before graduation day. And the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Take the pledge to volunteer now at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is the reclusive one, better known as Michael Golden, the guy who co-created Rogue, The Nom, Micronauts, Bucky O'Hare, Spartan X, and many, many more. You are listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Pay attention!
That's right. You got to pay attention to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Fool.
That's right. I pitied the fool. All right, we got to look at some upcoming events that we got coming up in the Charlotte area.
That's right, Timmy D. We got two sizzlers coming up in the month of November here, because December is going to be full of great stuff. But
like the restaurant?
We're
going to Sizzler?
It's more like a Ponderosa, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Not quite sure what the meat is. But coming up tomorrow night here at the lovely Queen's University of Charlotte in the Kettner Auditorium at 8 p.m. on our campus, we have the all-amazing Chuck Wendig, who is the author of Star Wars Aftermath, the one of the few sanctioned novels to bring us to The Force Awakens. So that'll be amazing. Chuck is actually a Queen's grad, 1998, I believe.
Yes.
And he was on the WFAE show with Dr. Mike Cobry, who is in the chair of the English and Creative Writing.
Mike was on there too?
He sure was.
Oh, awesome.
They talk Star Wars, sort of the phenomena, and then I think we're going to get into the real sort of meat of the book, which I'm enjoying. So that'll be really exciting. And then, after Turkey Day, on November 28th, we have the all-amazing Brian Stelfreeze.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a release party at Heroes for the Dark Knight 3 Master Race. Brian did a variant cover for that, which is an amazing drawing, watercolor.
Anything that's Brian Stelfreeze is just...
That's killer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And a awesome guy. Just, I mean, he does... Anytime he does appearances, he does sketches.
Yeah.
And he
goes crazy, right?
He goes crazy. He does. He just. Great. I mean, yeah, it's amazing. He'll give you some of the most amazing art for like I don't even know what he charged, like a $20 sketching fee.
For a sketch. That's incredible.
Yeah, he just goes all out. It's incredible art and a really, really cool guy.
Well, you and Chuck Charles did an interview with him when you guys reviewed The Shadow of the Bat, which we've played before on the show.
Yeah.
Which was awesome.
Yeah.
Every issue brought back just a flood of memories.
Yeah, and he's a really cool guy. So if you ever have a chance to meet him at a convention, go out of your way to do it. And the guy's awesome. So and his artwork is crazy, crazy good. So.
Well, that's on the short sort of end of things for events coming up, Timmy.
All right. Well, now it's time to finally get finished with Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Wait, it's done?
Yes, this is the end of it. So
I should have read it.
It's time to explore the multiverse.
Now it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, we have arrived at issue 10 of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Death at the Dawn of Time.
That sounds like a great metal band, or at least the tour of a great metal band.
That's true.
So we have an awesome cover, Anti-Monitor and Spectre facing off with a big mess of heroes, and we see the hand at the dawn of time, right? Which is the original sin hand, which is why Pariah's in there.
That's right.
Right? It's his sin as well.
He's crying.
So we're going to give you a quick summary, and we're going to go through the pages, and there's a little sub-story in here, the Monitor tapes as well, which...
it's one of those things that's kind of weird. It's almost like, because it's if you've never seen Crisis, it's at the bottom of the entire issue. And it's a separate narrative, so you kind of need to read it separately, because it's weird, because you read the page, then that's down at the bottom.
Right.
Then you go to the next page, which continues the story, and then down at the bottom again is the continuation of that narration from the last page. So
keeping up with us, folks? Because it's serpentine for sure. Okay, when I first saw that, I thought of Watchmen. How Watchmen has those sub stories going on within. I wonder, was this the magic year to magically rip each other off?
Yeah, that may have given him the idea to do that,
because it gave good backstory, right? And they did it in sort of an etching style, which made it look older, which was cool.
Yeah.
But we're going to get into the base story here, because now we're in an amazing amount of action. We've got some more deaths, some more victories coming up, and things are going to unfold brilliantly towards the end.
Last we left our heroes, or more accurately, when we left our villains,
right?
Simon had seemingly killed Brainiac.
Right, he hit him with a psionic blast that blew him apart. So now he's focused on Lex Luthor, and he said what Simon says, you're going to die.
Yes,
right?
Of course.
So his plan was to wait this all out and then take over the United Villains after killing Luthor. What Simon doesn't realize, though, is that Brainiac's consciousness is in the ship, basically.
Yeah, so he's not dead.
Nah.
As long as the ship's there, he's there.
Yeah, so he reforms very quickly, and then without prejudice, boom, just like nails Simon in that dome part of his head.
Blows his the brain that you can see through that dome out the window.
That's it.
I mean, it is pretty brutal.
It was awesome.
Brainiac don't play.
Yeah. And then we switch over to Earth 1 at the dawn of mankind, and we see Anthro, who continues to see wild streaks of red lightning flashing across the sky. He ponders whether he should tell the rest of the tribe, but fear that they may find him crazy. Shifting over to Earth 4, we see Chemo, right, who poisoned the East River, who stands now next to the ruins of the Statue of Liberty. All about him, the waters surrounding Manhattan Island are bubbling with deadly poisonous fumes. Now, from the Doom Patrol, Negative Woman flies about him, ensnaring the villain with giant bands of shadow energy. So I was starting to think, like, wow, does she have the same powers as like the
Kind of, yeah. Because the shadow demons, they look
just like her.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, but it didn't quite pan out like that. So the bands constrict Chemo until he's like basically destroyed. His artificial cell is destroyed. So R.I.P. Chemo. Okay, we got a lot of deaths today, so we might want to get the chalkboard out. In Manhattan, Black Adam fights up against Robot Man and Dove. Cole of the New Teen Titans flies up behind him and turns his body into solid crystal, and you see like Black Adam like, "Oh, how dare you touch me!"
Yeah.
As he's
turning,
into crystal. Robot Man is now prepared to shatter him, but good old softy lefty Dove holds him back.
Don't do it,
That wouldn't be right, Robot Man. Meanwhile, Cyborg and Celsius tackle Quakemaster. So we sort of said this last time. This is sort of the tail end of all the fighting of the big beat up, we call it, I think, in Crisis Stories, where all the heroes and villains go at it, and the big bad people.
And there's a huge amount of characters here, so a lot of these are just kind of the secondary or sometimes tertiary characters that are.
These people don't get into the Misty Borderland Lounge.
Yeah, exactly.
Not with that outfit.
You're not on the list.
Yeah. Velvet Rope City for you, sister, brother. Meanwhile, Aqualad is still hoping that Aquagirl can be saved and races her body back to Atlantis. Mm-hmm. He hands her over to the city's medical specialists, but there's nothing that they can do, so Aquagirl is officially dead. Okay, so R.I.P. Aquagirl.
Yep. So that's two already.
Yeah.
We got Chemo and Aquagirl.
Yeah.
I need to think a tally sheet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, chalkboard time. In the frozen wastelands of Earth S, we now find Dr. Sivana, Dr. Cyber, Perdegaton, our friend.
Our boy.
Houngan, Phobia, Despero, Deathbolt, Hector Hammond, and Professor Tio Morrow, who is the creator of Red Tornado. Right?
Yes.
Keep watch over the captured members of the Marvel family. And this has to be the most ridiculous display of the Marvel family. I feel like they just all right, let's just get everybody in here.
Throw everybody in.
Because there are some awful Marvel family people. Fatty Marvel. What's that about? I mean,
let's get them all in here.
Yeah, there's tall Marvel.
And Batman's fighting Calendar Man, which is one of his sillier villains.
Yeah. Well, that's on Earth X. We're going to get there.
Sorry, yeah.
Well, it's all right. I know you're excited.
I'm excited. I am.
While Savannah, who's famous for gloating and monologuing, Martian Manhunter burrows through the ice and attacks them, hits them with his super Martian vision, and he shoots Deathbolt with that.
Yeah.
Now the Atom and Platinum of the Metal Men arrive to give him backup. Right. So this is Ray Palmer, Sword of the Atom, the little miniature knight, and this is like the Indian in the cupboard kind of thing?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. Yep. Phobia tries to use her powers on Platinum, but they fail, enabling the Atom enough time to basically cut the gag off Billy Batson's mouth. And he walks up and he says, "Hey, are you Billy?" And Billy goes, and then he's like, "All right, here goes nothing." And he's like, "I don't know why you would need to say anything." And then all of a sudden, Billy goes, "Shazam!" Right? And then
my thought is okay, you got to get out of there because. I mean, you're going to get struck by lightning because it's coming.
That's right. So
I hope Adam. We don't see Adam after that. So
That's true.
Maybe.
Let's put that as a maybe.
That's a maybe.
On the death tally. We might have lost Ray. But you know what happens? Every time Ray is in an explosion or lightning, he does something.
Shrinks,
He gets out of there. Yep.
We'll put an asterisk next to him.
Right. Now on Earth X, Batman and the original Atom fight up against Calendar Man, while the Outsiders and Infinity Incorporated take on the Dummy.
Calendar Man.
I love that. I love that. Send me a meeting request
Yeah.
for justice.
It's Outlook Man.
Yeah, Outlook Man. With his sidekick, Clippy.
There you go.
And then Bob, right? Bob would be like the Skeets of that
Yep.
team. See, we can build this, Timmy. All right, Hawkwoman and Tin fight Lightning Lord, and Firestorm and Vixen fight up against Captain Cold and Icicle. Green Hour of Earth 2 assists Changeling, right, Beast Boy, and Mento in combating the Shaggy Man.
Shaggy Man.
Zoinks!
Yeah.
Green Arrow defeats the Shaggy Man with an explosive tipped arrow and a 7-layer sandwich.
That's Speedy.
Yes, actually,
that's Speedy.
Yeah, this it's supposed to be Green Arrow. This was part of the tidbits that I found. They miscolored Green Arrow from Earth 2.
Oh.
And he looks like Speedy. It was a mistake.
Okay.
Post the whole thing. They didn't pick up on it.
It says "Way to go, Speedy."
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it's the opposite then.
Changeling says "Way to go, Speedy." Maybe it was some other spot that it was supposed to be.
I read something about that was a fail in here.
Okay.
Yeah, which was interesting. All right, we'll get to the bottom of it.
Keep an eye on that.
Yes. So we know what's going on with that. All right, so at this stage, we're seeing Speedy. They're calling him Speedy, so we'll go with that. Suddenly, the Spectre makes his presence known across the 5 partially merged Earths and says,
Spectre.
"Stop it!
Stop!"
Yeah. Oh, God. He warns all of the heroes that the Anti-Monitor is still alive and that he has retreated into the past to change the course of history at the dawn of time itself.
That's right.
So this is going to be cool. So we're actually going to go back to and meet Cronus, which will be really cool.
The beginning of time.
That's right.
Man, the Spectre's so cool. He's like made out of stars and crap.
Yeah. My God, it's full of stars. Okay, so now the heroes migrate to Earth 1 to coordinate their efforts. They form their teams and develop a strategy using the time-traveling capabilities of the Time Masters, the Legion of Superheroes, and the Lord of Time, who's also the Lord of the Dance. Jay Garrick and Kid Flash are outfitted with converter technology to help them bridge the gap, with the aid of Magno Lad, Cosmic Boy, and Gold. The team creates a large magnetic conductor, which shunts the assemblage backwards in time. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor and his allies travel backwards in time 10 billion years to the planet Oe. They arrive. Hey, it's my time. They arrive. They arrive on the fateful day when the scientist Krona is destined to witness the hand. That always happens in a crisis story.
It's not a crisis story if you don't have the giant hand.
The giant left hand.
Yep.
Of creation and inadvertently created the multiverse. They burst into his laboratory, but Krona is ready for them with sandwiches. No, he's ready to throw down. And he kills one of my favorite villains from Crisis Stories, the original Icicle, who has like frozen boogers on his nose, which I've always appreciated because I'm from a cold place.
Like Jack Frost.
He does, yeah. And he also assassinates Mirror Master and Maldor. So 3 sort of B-list villains are done.
Okay. Icicle, Mirror Master, and who?
Maldor. Maaldor. 2 A's.
2 A's.
Not Maldor.
That's what I was thinking.
That's Kevin Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maldor. Okay.
Yeah. You'll see a picture of him. He's a real B-list dude.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, at the dawn of time, the heroes now face the Anti-Monitor. They channel all of their energy into him, but this only serves to make the Anti-Monitor more powerful. He requires their energy so that when Krona opens the doorway between the positive matter universe and the antimatter universe, the Anti-Monitor will then be able to obliterate the positive matter universe entirely. So if we just sort of jump back for a second, right, it was basically like Krona created the universes. Both monitors were born on the respective moons of Quard and Oa. And right, they were sort of like in battle, and well, they didn't know each other existed, and then they got in battle for millions of years, right? And then they finally knocked each other out, and then slept for billions of years.
Yeah.
So we're going to erase all that time, and then the Anti-Monitor just wants to go right back to the beginning and start him, and that's it. So that's his plan, essentially, which is a smart plan, by the way. I would say it's pretty smart. Except for now the Spectre appears before the Anti-Monitor, challenging all of the mystical energy of Earth's most powerful sorcerers. So this is a really cool part. So he's able to channel all the magic and sorcery.
We see the hand that we've seen.
And he says, "It will be mine."
Is the Anti-Monitor's hand.
Well, is it, or he says it's going to be mine?
No, it's his.
Oh, right, because it's unfolding right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Spectre comes in and grabs him to stop him. He grabs the hand.
Yeah, he kind of gives him like a pound. He's like, yeah, crazy.
High five.
High five. Anti-5.
High for evil.
He attacks the Anti-Monitor directly, and their fight unleashes an explosion of energy, which appears to consume all of reality. So it's like, whoa.
That does it.
And that ends that first issue, number 10. So our next issue, number 11, is entitled Aftershock, the story. And, the universe is gone. Mm-hmm. But now a creation occurs. And this is like Wolfman greatness here.
Yeah.
Right? And Perez illustration just really coming together beautifully. So we see that sort of, originally I think when Harbinger was telling the story with Pariah, we were seeing those things sort of unfold. Here now we're seeing it actually happen, where the whole universe is being created. So now one universe is born as a result of this fight between Anti-Monitor and Spectre. In Metropolis, Cal, capital L, Superman of Earth 2, wakes up in his apartment at
Salt and Pepper Superman.
Salt and Pepper Soups.
Yeah.
In an apartment at 344 Clinton Street. He has dreamed of the end of all the Earths. Now he finds the decor of his apartment change and his wife Lois gone. And he sort of just leaves for work after that.
Yeah.
He says, all right, maybe she's at the office. He enters the editor's office of the Daily Planet, where Perry White asks him to leave. Clark,
because that's the thing. Salt and Pepper Superman, that Clark Kent is the editor of the Daily Star.
Yes.
Whereas when he just kind of absentmindedly goes, it's the Daily Planet. And he pops into Perry White's chair, and that's why Perry freaks out and goes, "Who are you? And what are you doing here?"
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. I didn't quite get that. That's good to know.
Because Clark Kent on Earth 2 is the editor of the Daily Star,
and on Earth 1, Clark Kent is a reporter.
A reporter for the Daily Planet.
For Perry White.
Yeah, for Perry White. Yeah.
Awesome. I was gonna say Perry Mason, but that would be cool too.
That would be cool.
Clark Kent then enters and corrects the situation, realizing that he must be on Earth 1. The Earth 2 Superman accompanies his counterpart to the Warp Zone, which is the space between Earths and New York. So
he comes Clark, the Earth 1 Superman.
Yeah.
Comes in as, it's my uncle. He got confused and sat down in your chair. Sorry, Perry. And he actually comes up with something pretty good on the fly.
Yeah.
And he tells Perry, sorry, I told him I was a little more than a reporter. Sorry. So he kind of makes it like he's told him he's the editor, so he thought he was in my office. So it kind of covered pretty good.
Nice. So Clark just looks like an idiot.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
He's a liar.
Yeah.
You're a liar, Clark.
At best. Yeah. So they go to the Warp Zone, and this is the place that they can jump from Earth to Earth. So Kal-El, who's from Earth 2, can return home. But once there, they find that the zone is gone. When they ask a cop what happened to it, he says that nothing was ever there.
You crazy?
Yeah, you all right? You okay?
And then everybody says something about Salt and Pepper Superman's S being, because it was different in the Golden Age.
Yeah.
The S was a little different.
Right.
So, somebody was like, your friend over there has got the S wrong.
Yeah. Which, right, is a big distinction besides just the Salt and Pepper temples.
Yeah.
So now they decide to visit the home of Barry Allen in Central City to use his cosmic treadmill. There they find that Central and Keystone City, formerly of Earth 2, now exist side by side.
They're twin cities.
That's
because Central City was Earth 1, Keystone was Earth 2.
Right, Jay Garrick's home city.
Yeah. So it didn't even exist in Earth 1's world.
So now
now it does.
Now it does, right? Yeah. Everything's in one spot. When they reach the home now of Jay and Joan Garrick, she recognizes the Superman of Earth 1, but not the Superman of Earth 2, who had been
weird.
Yeah, right, because she would know him.
Yeah, exactly.
Who had been a fellow Justice Society member of her husband Jay. All right, so Jay does recognize both of them and takes them into his lab, right, where Wally West is awaiting. So there's a lot of awkwardness here, right?
Yeah.
And, isn't Jay's wife kind of weird looking? Sorry. She's like
a villain.
Yeah,
she's got the little glasses and.
Yeah, she looks like Granny Goodness right there.
Oh God, that would be crazy. But I think it's funny. She's like, "Oh, hey, Superman, who's your older friend? You're welcome to stay."
Yeah.
So slow down there, Granny.
Joni Garrick, you're fast, lady.
She's a pistol.
You're fast. So Wally is waiting there as Jay brings the two Supermans in. And Jay tells them that the world still knows about the other Flash, Barry Allen, and remembers his trial, but that not everyone else maintains that he, the original Flash, has lived on this Earth all his life. So, okay, so even there's strange continuity. Mm-hmm. Wally changes into his Kid Flash costume, and then Jay runs back, and he's got his helmet on and is ready to rock. Then, with the two Supermen, they board the Cosmic Treadmill, put out by Nordic Track. So it's a cross-country skier as well.
They should.
It works the core. And they reach the correct speed and vibration rate to enter Earth 2's universe. However, this is cool. When they get to it, they see an endless sea of blackness where a cosmos had once existed.
There's nothing there.
It's awesome. Without a past or a homeworld. Superman of Earth 2 tries to leap into the void, but a Superman of Earth 1 grabs him and says, don't do it, man. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Come on. As the Flash, Jay Garrick and Kid Flash bring them now back to the lab. So they just found out that there's nothing else besides this Earth, and that's it. In the time stream now, Rip Hunter's time sphere carrying Rip, Dolphin, Captain Comet, Animal Man, Atomic Knight, and Adam Strange emerges in space near Brainiac's craft.
It's quite a motley crew.
Yeah, absolutely. They board it, and they find the robot villain who's kind of feeling a little down. He's a little slumped in his chair there.
He's looking a little peaked, as my mom would say.
Nobody's played his Galaga in a while, so he's feeling, unchallenged. Of these heroes, this team, only Rip remembers the multiple Earths. So now, at Titans Tower, New York, the Teen Titans host an assembly of heroes who formerly occupied the 6 different Earths. So we get somewhat of a grouping shot here, but we were hoping for the biggie, but it seems like they may have done that
And
already.
I think we did have one that was close, but it wasn't everybody.
No.
And I'm thinking maybe what we're thinking, the shot we're thinking of was in Infinity Gauntlet.
Which could be, right? Because Perez drew that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, very well.
So maybe. I don't know. We'll have to look and see.
All right, we crossed the streams on that one.
Yeah. I'm sure at some point. I'm sure we'll talk about Infinity Gauntlet at some point. So.
Oh, that'd be a fun one to read. Yeah, absolutely. So now Thanos. No, I'm just kidding. So Captain Marvel and Uncle Sam report that they have tried to return to their homeworlds, but found them to be non-existent. So that same scene with Earth 2 has unfolded in X and S as well. Slowly, they come. All the heroes come to grips with the fact that only one Earth now exists, not many or infinite Earths, as we saw before. And what we now have is a brand new Earth. This is New Earth. Yeah. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah.
Later on, I believe it's referred to as Earth Sigma.
Okay.
But yeah, that isn't called it in this story.
No, it's not. Yeah.
Just New Earth, and that's all.
Okay.
Suddenly, not Leela, but Harbinger appears. Mm-hmm. She has regained her powers with the rebirth of the universe, and states that many realities have been changed. When Kal-El, right, Superman, Salt and Pepper Super, asks why he still exists in the new universe while his Krypton never even existed, quote.
How that makes sense.
Yeah. She tells him that he was spared because he stood before the rebirth. So it seems like this...
because he was at the dawn of time?
I suppose. Yeah, he was. Yeah, he must have been at that moment
Okay.
where everybody went to fight Anti-Monitor at the dawn of time, and
Okay.
and that
makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the definitive mark, right? Is the rebirth point. Now the Huntress, shaken by her experience, tells of how she found herself without a law practice, an office, an apartment, or even a recorded identity on the new Earth. So this must be Huntress of Earth 2.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So
she's the daughter of
Helena Wayne.
Yeah, she's Helena Wayne. She's the daughter of Batman and Catwoman.
Okay. So she's not Bertinelli.
No.
Okay. Which would be Earth 1.
That's Earth 1, yeah.
Version.
Which I don't think she was introduced until later.
Yeah, she's not even in this story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robin of Earth 2 says that the only Dick Grayson of whom he could find records was 19 years old, right? And you can see he's got salt and pepper too.
Yeah, he's middle-aged. Yeah, because the Earth 2 Batman by this point is dead.
Yeah.
And he's still fighting crime as like a middle-aged guy.
I'm surprised they didn't let him like improve his costume a little bit. It's like he's still Dick Grayson. Yeah, like still the old school.
Yeah.
Like Burt Ward looking, but with the salt and pepper. This Dick Grayson on this Earth lives in Manhattan and not in Gotham City.
Yeah, that's when he was. I don't know if he had already become Nightwing yet, but he had left to go and Jason Todd. Actually, there's at one point you get to see Jason Todd here
in Crisis.
Yeah, in Crisis, because they're getting ready to go, and he says to Batman that he's nervous, and Batman says, "It's okay, Jay. Just do the best that you can."
Oh, I didn't pick up on that. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Well,
It's
very cool.
Yeah, it's very, very quick.
So
and you
pre-Crisis Jason Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is before the
I didn't even. That's the thing. I didn't even realize until I did the Robin showcase. I didn't even realize there was a pre-Crisis Jason Todd.
That's right. You did mention that.
Yeah.
Ah, all right.
It was a completely different character too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He wasn't like the sort of on edge, sort of Kraken like version he came out to be later.
Yeah.
Well, cool. So let's see. Harbinger explains that the new universe, not a multiverse, was born from the battle against the Anti-Monitor. There is and was only one Earth, one history, even only one World War II, in which Uncle Sam led the freedom fighters to victory over the Axis of Evil, or just the Axis. Yep, Axis of Evil came later. Krypton exploded, and Kal-El, right, the Latino, from Earth 1, Silver Age Superman, he did come to Earth. Only one Batman came to exist from the murder of his parents, and all the heroes are stunned by this revelation, and none more so than Earth 2 Salt and Pepper Superman. Mm-hmm. Right? He's like, nobody knows me. Not only did his Krypton never exist, but his wife is also gone forever. Right? She died at the end of...
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. He soars off now in frustration and anguish, and Kal-El, Superman of Earth 1, follows him.
And I gotta say, George Perez just... We've kind of made jokes about it the whole time, talking about Crisis face.
Yeah.
They all get this look on their face at different points, but he is really in his stride doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. The emotion that he conveys through his facial expressions, it's amazing. Especially Golden Age Superman, when he realizes he doesn't have a world. He doesn't have his wife. That's the most important thing.
Right.
His Lois is gone.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who he is.
Right.
It's the anguish on his face when he's flying off is just off the charts good. George Perez is awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, there's some more Crisis faces coming up that are pretty good. Yeah, especially that one. Yeah,
that's a good one.
So now, somewhere in the spirit dimension, which is cool, we see Deadman and the Phantom Stranger watch over the Spectre, who was rendered immobile after the battle with the Anti-Monitor. Mm-hmm. So they're like, oh, we got to revive him, sort of deal with what's going on. But meanwhile, in a much funner place, Las Vegas, a detective convention is interrupted when Angleman's body is found, along with his angler weapon.
So should we put him on the list, Angleman?
I believe he is added now, yes. Angleman is there. Way to go, Angleman.
And that's where Harvey was. Harvey Bullock, I think.
Yeah, there he is right there.
Isn't that Harvey?
It looks like him.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. In Salem, right, the home of Dr. Fate, Dr. Fate and the demon magically observe Amethyst being attacked as a witch by a mob. Dr. Occult stops them, but then the shadows appear and attack. Dr. Fate and the demon join in the battle. However, Amethyst has been blinded, and when Fate looks into her eyes, he finds something incredible and takes her back to Gemworld. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure.
They just
what was incredible.
Yeah, they wanted to be able to continue to put out Amethyst. So it's like
So they save her?
Basically, yeah.
They put her in, wrap her in plastic, put her away. Yeah. Okay.
Wrap her in Mystic Mylar and
Yeah.
put her away.
So a couple things are present, right? So there's the spirit realm, which still exists, right? There is this, I guess, what would you call this place? I guess Gemworld.
Yeah.
Yep. So that still exists.
Yeah. Well, even after Crisis, they used what they called pocket dimensions.
Yeah.
They would do that as well. So they found a way around
keeping stuff alive.
Yeah.
So, but we do have one universe, one Earth. Right? Everything's been compressed down from the original bunch to 5 to now 1. So crazy. Wow. I guess that solves things, but makes things complicated as well. Meanwhile, above New York City, Kal-El, Superman of Earth 1, has succeeded in calming the older Superman, reminding him of his own loss with Kara's death, Supergirl. Kal-El, Salt and Pepper,
the same thing.
He weeps. Yeah, it's a little insensitive. Yep. He weeps, not knowing where he belongs, right? He's just like, I got no place else to go. It's rough, you know?
It is true.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at Titan's Tower, Wonder Girl tells of how Queen Hippolyta reacted when the Earth 2 Wonder Woman and her daughter Fury appeared on Paradise Island. None of the Amazons remembered the multiverse, even though the new Paradise Island had elements from both Earths.
Yeah.
So, a little rejection there. Let's see. Power Girl now questions why she is remembered, but her cousin forgotten.
That's a very good question.
Yeah, right? Because she's a Earth 2.
She's Earth 2, yeah.
So, yeah. Harbinger replies that she does not know yet. It's fair. It's fair.
So, Marv Wolfman hadn't come up with that yet. So.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Batman appears with the younger Robin, right, who's just 18 or 19, and Alex, I guess that's Alex Luthor, right? And tells the assembly of their recent interview with Lex Luthor in prison. Luthor had no knowledge of participating in the crisis and angrily denied that he would ever help superheroes.
That's Jason Todd there.
That's Jason Todd?
That's Jason Todd, yeah.
Yeah, does he refer to him as it? Or
no, but it's got to be because by the time Jason Todd became Robin, Dick Grayson was Nightwing.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
if there's a Robin, it's Jay.
It's got to be him.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Okay, so therefore, says Alex, none of the villains remember fighting alongside them. So there's no memory. There's some little pockets here and there, but not much. However, danger still is upon the Earth as shadows continue their assault and the uncanny weather persists. So this weird weather and the shadow demons, like that red storm.
Red sky, yeah.
That's what consumed Oa and a bunch of other places as well. So far below the surface of Peru, Cave Carson's crew.
Cave Carson.
Who's that?
I have no idea. I've never heard of him.
They're like, how do we fit in Carson?
Yeah.
Let's do it in this one. Reports an awesome flux of energy and transmits the news to Titan's Tower. Therefore, the heroes observe the electrical storms becoming worse, and Pariah feels his pre-teleportation symptoms again.
Oh, I got that tingle.
I gotta go. Oh, I got the feeling. But with no place to teleport to, he remains in painful stasis.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, it does. Alex glows with the antimatter effect, and the Earth is drawn into a titanic space warp. Ooh, it's fun. On a rooftop in New York, the Supermen realize that the Earth has been drawn into the antimatter universe. Then they are confronted by a huge image of the Anti-Monitor, welcoming them to his home and to their deaths.
To your doom.
Oh, yeah, it does say here, it says that Green Arrow of Earth 2 is accidentally colored like Speedy in one panel of this issue. So I wonder if it was that particular panel like we had looked at before, but it could be. Maybe it's in another location.
Yeah. 'Cause I don't remember seeing, but they specifically said, good shot, Speedy, or something like that.
Yeah, right. Maybe let's look, see if Speedy's with them. I mean, maybe just because he was there, maybe they miscolored him.
Yeah, he was a Titan, so he may be in Titan's Tower.
Yeah, it could be. But this would conclude this issue, number 11, and we can begin the transition to the doorway. To the final crisis. And let's see here.
Looking for Speedy.
Yeah, you look for Speedy. Take your time looking for Speedy.
Oh, there was something else that the whole thing with Wally, the reason he had retired
His speed was lost.
No, he had a disease. Every time he used his super speed, he was killing him.
Right.
So that's the thing. Nobody really realized that, and asking him to come out of retirement was
like, you want to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. But didn't something happen where he got a blast and it restored him to Mach 1?
At the end of Crisis, he's basically renewed.
Okay.
And it gets rid of the sickness. But I remember he was having trouble with his powers, and that's why he retired. I didn't remember exactly what was going on. But yeah, every time he uses his super speed, it kills him a little more.
So he used it a little bit to help get the cosmic treadmill going,
and
then to get them to this place. So, this is the last issue. Killer cover, right? Giant Anti-Monitor. Everybody's blasting him. I think Superman just flew through him.
Yeah.
So, there's going to be an epic scene here. So this is going to be our conclusion issue. So we start off in Brainiac's ship. Dolphin, Captain Comet, Rip Hunter, Animal Man, the Atomic Knight, and Adam Strange, who we saw in the previous issue, go there, convince the reviving robot that his memory was tampered with to make him forget the crisis. Admitting that his power is inadequate to battle the Anti-Monitor, he sets course for the world of a more powerful being. I wonder who that is. On Earth, the Anti-Monitor's image is seen in the skies all over the globe. He repeats that the Earth is now in the antimatter universe, in case you couldn't tell. And his past victories over positive universes are meaningless, he says, because of the superhero's efforts to stop him. When he lists Supergirl and the Flash as casualties, Kid Flash demands to know what happened. Right?
Yeah.
So like, well, what happened? What?
Yeah, Wally's. Yeah.
He still thinks Barry's going to come back.
He's trying. Yeah, he's trying to hold out hope.
Yeah.
That he's going to come back, because this was his uncle, his mentor, and for the most part, like his best friend.
Yeah.
So it's really racking him up that something happened to him while he wasn't there to do
something. Yeah, to help at least.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Supermen scan the globe and watch the populace begin to panic. Harbinger appears and teleports them to a chosen destination, then gathers Dr. Light from Japan, leaving Sunburst to defend the island. When Dr. Light states that she caused Supergirl's death, Harbinger replies that the battle had already killed Supergirl, and that the Anti-Monitor's final attack merely gave her a swift death. In the skies...
You did her a favor.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it, I guess. Yeah, way to go, Harbinger. Just being sensitive. In the skies, and this is really cool, darkness begins to spill into a million shadow demons.
Yeah, you see the sky is all dark, and then it breaks apart into shadow demons, and they come. That was pretty cool.
I mean, you got to draw all that. That's incredible. So these shadow demons are the Thunderers of Quard.
Yes.
Right? They've been sort of transformed for the Anti-Monitor's bidding.
Yep.
So in the skies, right, we now see all those, the shadow demons who begin an all-out attack on all the humans on the planet, and the superheroes start to form up to resist them. The Global Guardians team with other heroes to free their native lands from the threat. But the demons' numbers just seem endless. It's just overwhelming for anybody. The Phantom Stranger summons Dr. Mist to help revive the Spectre, who lies now comatose. Below, Harbinger has gathered a large group of heroes, along with Pariah and Alex Luthor Jr., to lead a final assault on their nemesis. Alex creates a bridge between the universes, and they depart near Apocalypse. Now, Brainiac's ship goes into stationary orbit, and he and his guests teleport to the planet of Apocalypse, where Darkseid appears and introduces himself. Hi, I'm Darkseid.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm a Scorpio. Meanwhile, back on Earth, the majority of the heroes are still battling the demons. Dove is slain by a shadow being as his brother Hawk watches in horror. So we can add Dove to our list. Yep. All right, and this is cool because this actually leads to other Crisis-like stuff.
This is what leads Hank to lose his damn mind, so he becomes a big problem in the future.
He becomes extant at the end, but what was his original form? That was like where he took in Dove's powers. The something. It was like the Sentinel, Sentry.
Sentry.
It's something like that.
Yeah. But he becomes in the Armageddon 2001 in 1991. There was a big crossover called Armageddon 2001 where there was a big monitor-like bad guy
called the Monarch.
Monarch.
Yes. That was it.
So
okay.
you get 10 years in the future. That was the thing. It was Armageddon 2001.
Right.
And you got to look 10 years in the future, and Monarch was the big despot that controlled the entire Earth.
Awesome.
And then at the end of that, you found out that it was Hank Hall.
Right.
So
who had
his
gone a
mind
little
had
crazy
just
and
cracked.
took over Dove's powers slightly. So that's a cool seed that is then used later. Uterlays, which is brand new. Okay, so we lost Dove. Horrible. But now we're back in Dr. Fate's Salem Tower. The magically powered heroes have gathered to pool their shamanistic might. The Earth-2 Green Lantern and Dr. Occult form the nexus of their energy.
Because this is something interesting. The Earth-2 Green Lantern, Alan Scott, is with them because they say, his magic. Although they retcon that later to say that it was actually a Green Lantern ring.
Right.
Just they didn't realize it at first.
Right.
So so that's another something that like they even after this they changed it too.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys! I just love all this. It's a big show game. Comic books.
Yeah.
On Quard, in the Antimatter universe, Harbinger and the heroes have arrived into the Anti-Monitor's old headquarters, right? The big stony castle with the hand and the rocket ship. Kid Flash insists on joining them because of his mentor's demise. Suddenly, an image of the Flash appears to him, the last one Barry cast before his death.
And this is the one. This is the first one we see when Barry starts going back in time.
Right.
He sees Wally saying, "I had to join you guys," and we actually saw that exact panel.
Oh, cool.
And that was the first one we see when he realizes he's starting going back through time.
Oh, so he
sees that one. Then he sees the Joker and Batman.
Right.
And then he sees something else. I forget now what it was.
Yeah, I forget now.
Yeah.
And then Batman says, "Flash, I have to talk to you."
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
This was the first little flash of, no pun intended, flash of that he saw as he was going back in time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. And this is obviously going to lead up to something really big here. Wally follows the after image to where an insane psychopirate clutches to an empty uniform of the Flash.
Oh, yeah. This was extremely well done.
Yeah.
Because Wally goes to he thinks he can still pick up an image, so he starts running to try and find the Flash. Then he comes across Psychopirate. Mind is cracked. Barry's uniform is trapped in the rubble, and Psychopirate's like pulling on it, going, "Come on, Flash! You said you'd save me. Come on, you got to save me." So he's completely crackers.
Oh, he's done. Yeah.
He's done.
And like his red hair is popping out of his hood on his costume.
Yeah, it's like a rip
out
in
of
the
Psycho
back.
Pirate. Yeah, he's done. And Wally's eyes, man, that's just
Oh yeah.
no. I mean, it's just that's an intense moment there.
Yeah.
So Wally just cracks him, like just just you're done, dude.
Yeah, get your hands off it because, first off, this is Barry's uniform. Obviously, he's gone, and so he has no idea. I mean, the anti-monitor says he murdered him, but he comes across Psycho Pirate, who is a villain.
Yeah.
Playing around with his uniforms, he's gonna freak out on him, and he does. He beats the crap out of Psycho Pirate,
knocks him out,
and tells him to get your stinking hands off of it.
Yeah. So, right, this is obviously going to set up something really big here.
Yeah.
And he realizes now that Barry is truly dead.
And they find his ring.
Yeah, Lady Quark picks it up.
Yeah.
His costume ring. Pariah informs them that a great concentration of evil lies before them. They follow to find a towering anti-monitor ready for the final slaughter.
It looks friggin' awesome.
Yeah, he's going to crush it. We shift now to Atlantis, where Aquaman leads his underwater legions against the shadows there. Lori Lamaris saves a trapped Mira with a force beam. A demon closes in on her and then kills her. So
Lori
Lamaris. Yeah.
That's another one.
Yeah. Thanks, Lori, for your service.
There's quite a death toll in this one.
Well, to keep your fingers on the keyboard, because in Chicago now, Green Arrow of Earth 2, Wally, is killed by a shadow.
So, Earth 2 Green Arrow.
Yeah.
So, Golden Age. Okay.
That's right. And now we're in Philadelphia. Cyborg, the son of Vulcan, the Vigilante, and the new Wildcat continue their rescue operations. So they're doing pretty good. In New Orleans, Shade, the Changing Man, witnesses the death of Prince Raman. Is that Prince Raymond?
Does he have noodles?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's a very salty, inexpensive treat. In Skateris, Travis Morgan leads his forces against the Black Menaces. In Gotham City, both Clayface 2 and the Bug-Eyed Bandit perish at the hands of the Shadow Demons.
Okay,
so we got to have Prince Raymond.
Prince Ramen Noodle.
Yep. Very good.
Clayface.
Clayface 2.
Which
I don't know. Yeah.
I think it's Boris.
And Natasha.
Name. Yeah.
Yeltsin. And the Bug-Eyed Bandit. Damn.
Bug-Eyed Bandit.
Perish at the hands of the demons.
Okay.
What a list. Yay.
It is, yeah.
All right, in Salem, where the magicians are, the tide finally turns. The supernatural crusaders send their combined force into a net of energy to gather the demons from the Earth's surface and bind them helpless now in space. Over the Earth, lives have been lost, including those of Cole, right, who's the crystallizer from Teen Titans or Infinity Titans. Huntress and Robin, but other lives have been saved.
So Cole,
Huntress, Earth 2, and Robin of Earth 2.
Robin, Earth 2.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of stuff here. For a moment, the survivors are taking stock of what's gone on. We shift back to Cord. The Superman of Earth 1 and 2, Captain Atom, Lady Quark, Firehawk, Wonder Woman, and the other heroes strike at the Anti-Monitor, but he ignores their blows, feeding on the energy of a nearby star. As Dr. Light absorbs the energy of one of the binary suns they are between.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, which is great. So this is going to be like a super shot that she's probably going to power up.
Yeah.
The Anti-Monitor now feels his power draining away. Alex begins to drain the antimatter energy away from their enemy. So there's like all these people who are like conjuring stuff while the Anti-Monitor is as well. Negative Woman uses her negative self to bind the Anti-Monitor and inhibit him, so slow him down. She sort of got him wrapped up, just like she did to Chemo. Then Harbinger leads the all-energy-producing heroes against him. Dr. Light blasts him with the energy of a sun, and he falls into the ruins of his fortress. Alex creates a dimensional portal, large enough to enclose the Earth and return it to its proper universe. The heroes then follow. The ball of bound demons hover and then fall on the fallen enemy. So they hit him with his shadow dudes as a ball.
Which is not a good idea.
Yeah, it's going to power him up, I guess,
Yeah.
right? Wouldn't that? Yeah. Here we go. Thus, the Anti-Monitor absorbs his slave's energies and rises again.
Like a good monster movie, he's not dead. He gets up and comes after you again.
That's right. And then we've got Anti-Monitor 2, The Revenge. A New Blood. So he's powered up pretty much again. Wonder Woman is caught in a withering flash of power and is borne away to an unknown destination. So she's sort of transported, right? You can see her getting caught there and then moving. Superman of Earth 1 and Lady Quark vow deadly revenge. They think that she's dead. But Kal-El knocks them out and tells Superboy to take them back. So he's trying to protect them from...
This is Superboy Prime.
Yep, Superboy Prime.
Comes back to be a big pain in the tuchus later.
Yeah. And let's see here. So since Kal-El, right, Superman of Earth 2, has no world and no wife to return to, the eldest Superman has the least to lose. Then he stands off with the Anti-Monitor, and just batters the snot out of them.
They start beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah. Superboy sends Superman and Lady Quark back through Alex's shrinking body and turns to aid him. Superman continues his one-man war against the Anti-Monitor, striking telling blows, while the villain, his power waning, absorbs more energy from the Anti-Cosmos and blasts him and Superboy. Darkseid, whose eyes we can see again, watching the conflict on a view screen, pay-per-view, proclaims his planet to be endangered if the Anti-Monitor survives. He sends a powerful burst at him through Alex's eyes, which is really interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, right. It's like he hacked into Alex somehow. The enemy, devastated, is hurled into the core of one of the binary suns. Superman, Superboy, and Alex are stunned to see the specter of their enemy rising from the sun. Right? It's like, there he is. Superman smashes into his foe's fiery body, scattering him. The remains fall back into the sun, and the star begins to implode now. So let's hope he's really dead.
Nope.
They're probably not. Yeah. They bravely await the end, and Superman wishes that Lois, this is Salt and Pepper Super, could have lived to see their triumph. At that, Alex produces Lois from a void pocket in his body, where she had been sent to wait.
Yeah.
Here's a magazine. Just wait till we save the universe.
You're in the antimatter waiting room.
Yeah. What's the like music in the antimatter waiting room? She tells her husband that she had been to a tranquil world. Alex cannot return them to Earth, but he can take them all to this beautiful world. Superman, Lois, and Superboy opt for that choice. The foursome vanish seconds before the exploding sun would have reached them, and they go into a pocket universe, right, where they're saved. And we won't see them again until the Infinite Crisis, which is awesome. Back now on Earth, Leela is explaining facets of the crisis to Pariah and Lady Quark. Wonder Woman was returned to clay, which Aphrodite and Athena had given life, then spread across Paradise Island. Right? So we'd spoken about this. This was sort of a little strange.
Yeah.
Time then continued to reverse itself as the Amazons were returned to their original homeland before they fled man's world. Zeus brought the homeless Wonder Woman of Earth 2 and her husband Steve Trevor to Olympus, where they could now live peacefully. So they don't live on Paradise Island, they live in Olympus.
Yeah.
Which is nice. Greek food. That's good. The bodies now of Robin of Earth 2, the Huntress, and Cole are not found. All those who died were mourned. In Keystone City, Jay Garrick determined that Kid Flash's illness was in remission, his body chemistry being changed by a blast from the Anti-Monitor. He could, again, move at super speed, though only to a maximum of Mach 1.
And that later we find out is like a psychological thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he can move faster than that. He just had to get past. He subconsciously doesn't want to be as good as Barry.
Oh.
He puts Barry on a pedestal. Seriously.
So it keeps him back.
Yeah, it holds him back.
he can now move at super speed with this limitation, and it's at this moment that Wally takes Barry's uniform and now announces, from this day forth, the Flash lives again. And I'm sure for you that must have been so epic. That
that was awesome. Yeah.
We have Barry. We have the red suit Flash, the Scarlet Speedster.
Yeah.
But it's Wally.
Yeah.
So the great disaster will not exist in the Earth's future, but a lost child will be found in Commandy, adopted by General Horatio Tomorrow of the Planeteers, and named Thomas. This is strange stuff. Tom Tomorrow. Okay. Yeah. Tom Morrow. Jonah Hex will be torn from his era to fight in the future.
That was always weird. That was what was always weird to me about Jonah Hex.
He
was a cowboy, but he was in the future. So now that explains.
And he's disfigured.
Yeah.
Weird.
That now explains why Jonah Hex, because it was
the seven soldiers of, or was it the Heroes of Tomorrow?
Something like that. Yeah. That they introduced him, but yeah, he was a cowboy, but like when I was reading it, he was a cowboy, but he was in like the far flung future, and I was like, okay, what? How does that work? What the hell is this? And then for a while it wasn't Hex, it was HEX. It was like an acronym. I don't know what that stood for, but it was like some kind of, like, for a while, Legion. Instead of the
Legion of Superheroes, it was Legion,
like as an organization,
an acronym.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So yeah, it was weird.
All right. While the Guardians of the Universe must face the First Division in their ranks, so I guess that team is going to break up. Thus, Leela concludes her tale, and Lady Quark and Pariah ask her to help them explore their new homeworld. They leave with her, honoring the memory of their benefactor, the Monitor. And that ends the story there. And in the epilogue, this is awesome. We're in Arkham Asylum, and the staff is discussing a new patient who seems beyond help. A stray-jacketed, sort of kooky-looking rubber room
fetal position in the corner.
Roger Hayden, who is formerly the Psycho Pirate, who took us through this whole story. He gibbers about Earths beyond numbers, somebody called the Anti-Monitor, and all these crazy memories of heroes and villains traveling through dimensions, which now he only is allowed to keep.
Yeah.
And
he's really cracked. He's gone.
And in 5 short panels after that, we end the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
And it ends, but not the end, the beginning of the future.
That's right, the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Or the end of the beginning.
The end of the beginning.
Yeah. So, we got so much death in this.
Yeah.
They had to really wrap it up.
Yes.
But
2, 4, 5,
boy, oh boy, this was an incredible 4th part. I was moved. 16 deaths that we were able to count.
Yeah.
Which is...
And in that one comic.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's amazing. So, wow. So, gosh, what do we say at this point? We're down to one Earth. We're entering now into a period where we're not going to have a crisis for a while.
Yeah.
And we're still exploring the multiverse because we still have some big crossover stories to check out. So the next thing that I'm going to look at after I take a vacation for 6 weeks from Crisis is we're going to read something called The Second Crisis, which, believe it or not, takes place in a short run of Animal Man by Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
And the Second Crisis is it's foreshadowed in Animal Man number 18, which is December of '89. So we have what is that?
That's 3 years after
3
this?
years.
Yeah.
And this is minor. They sort of play with it.
Yeah.
And then in issues 23 and 24 of 1990, May and June 1990, the Psycho Pirate, which I don't know if it's the same Roger Hayden.
Yeah.
Recreates items, characters, and comic books which were destroyed along with the multiverse in the Crisis of Infinite Earths. And then Animal Man somehow manages to avert this crisis.
Huh. That'd
be
interesting.
Way to go, Animal Man. And then, of course, we'll have the next Biggie story, which has a very evil Hal Jordan. Zero Hour.
Parallax.
The Crisis in Time.
Yep.
Which is cool, which is a backwards running story. And And then we'll have the Crisis Times 5, which takes complete place in the Thunderbolt universe. So we're going to see more about that. We're going to learn about Mr. Mixelplick and all sorts of crazy things. Of course, the Spectre's in that. And then we'll get to Countdown to Infinite Crisis.
Okay.
And we got more stuff after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Infinite Crisis and then the Final Crisis.
Which wasn't the Final Crisis.
No, because we had Convergence.
Then we got Convergence, yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna read them all, folks, and then...
We still got a ways to go. So.
Yeah, we sure do. But wow, what a mountain, Timmy. That was awesome. I think, we were saying before how much more we appreciate reading all of those stories, all those 24, 25 Crisis stories leading up to that moment. Yeah. Having that information made this story incredibly enjoyable.
And having read, Crisis 20 years ago, now reading it, getting everything, because there was still a lot of stuff that I didn't get. I didn't understand.
All right, and you keep going.
Yeah, you just keep going, yeah. But now I understand where it all came from and what led up to it and all this stuff. So it's actually good to reread it now with the context that we've gotten by traveling up through the years with the different multiverse segments. So
absolutely crazy.
So cool. All right, well that's that wraps up Crisis on Infinite Earths and our Exploring the Multiverse segment for this week. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our showcase on The Flash.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast, or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi. I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
Well, before I left my campsite, I was putting out my fire, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me?
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. He likes it when people correctly put out their campfires. He's pretty big on wildfire prevention. He's just letting you know you did good with a hug. He's a hugger.
I just got a bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update!
All right, I'm going to let you go now. I've got a lot of ranger stuff to do. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service Ad Council and your state forester.
Hi, this is Brian Shearer from IDW's Transformers and G.I. Joe, and you are listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, this is our showcase segment where we take an in-depth look at several different subjects. We've went through characters, sometimes events in the comic history. We've taken a look at. Last week was the Magic Year, 1986.
That's right.
These last couple of weeks, since we've been on Crisis on Infinite Earths, these have all been Crisis themed showcase. We did George Perez. We did Marv Wolfman. Last week, like I said, was the Magic Year of 1986, which Crisis ended in, and it was like a watershed year for comic events.
Right.
So this week we were going to do The Flash, since it was The Flash was a huge part of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Absolutely.
We decided to do a showcase on Flash, and I was intending to do all four in one, but we're going to split it up because there's just too much. There's just too much stuff. So this week we're going to do Jay Garrick and Barry Allen. So start off with Jay Garrick. He was created by writer Gardner Fox and artist Harry Lampert, and first appeared in the first issue of the anthology Flash Comics in 1940. That was published by All American Publications, one of three companies that would combine to form the modern DC Comics.
Cool.
All American Publications, Detective Comics Incorporated, and National Allied Publications. That was the three companies that would come together to form what we know as DC Comics.
Today,
yes.
Cool.
Jay was very soon after he was brought in, he was soon featured in All-Star Comics as a founding member of the Justice Society of America. And in 1941, he got his own solo series called All Flash. It pretty much is very.
That's what you get.
Yeah, it's self-explanatory. It's all Flash. So, and I think it was called that because he was introduced in Flash comics, but it was anthology. There was a bunch of other different things.
Mini stories.
So they said this is all Flash. I mean, they literally said it on the cover. So, but as far as the character, Jason Peter Garrick was a college student that accidentally inhaled hard water vapors, which was later said to be heavy water. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like
hard water is what's in your shower. Heavy water is for nuclear
radioactive.
Yeah, right.
Wastewater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but originally it was said to be hard water. So it was just chemicals. They just let's just go with that. So
chemicals.
But he inhaled hard water vapors during a smoke break at the lab he was working at. See, kids, smoking kills.
It makes you the Flash, Timmy. What you talking about?
It's bad. As a result of him inhaling these fumes, he finds that he can run at superhuman speeds. For a brief time, he was a college football star. Oh, that seems wrong. But then he decided to become a superhero and fight crime. His costume has a red shirt with a lightning bolt and a stylized metal helmet based on the Roman god Mercury. The helmet actually belonged to his father, who fought in World War I.
Oh, that makes sense because the style of it. Yeah, cool.
Exactly. In earlier stories, it was widely known that Garrick was the Flash, but later he was shown having and protecting his secret identity and was able to maintain it by constantly vibrating his features, like Barry does on the show.
Yeah.
He vibrates his features so that it'd be hard to recognize him or photograph him.
Cool.
In Flash Comics number 104, a professor at Jay's University, Dr. Edward Claris, believes that he has recreated the formula that gave the Flash his speed, which he calls Velocity 9. The scientific community basically just laughs him off and rejects his claims, which, of course, makes him disgruntled. So he becomes a criminal wearing a darker version of the Flash's costume and calls himself the Rival. His formula turns out to be temporary, and he was defeated and put in jail. This is our first instance of a reverse Flash.
Awesome.
Kind of character. Following World War II, superheroes declined in popularity, and All Flash was canceled in 1948 with issue 32. Flash Comics was canceled in 1949 after 104 issues. And All-Star Comics was canceled in 1951 after 57 issues. That was the last Golden Age appearance of Jay Garrick. Now, in 1956, when DC introduced a new Flash character, Garrick was mentioned as, quote, just a character some writer dreamed up. He actually, said that when he...
I read your comic.
Yeah, he was reading his comic, yeah. The fans liked the new Flash, but they still wanted to see the old version. So, Garrick appeared in the Flash of Two Worlds in Flash number 123 and introduced the concept of Earth 2. Soon, the rest of the JSA would start showing up in their annual meetings with Justice League. Then, during Crisis on Infinite Earths, all the worlds were merged into one, and Keystone City, and we just talked about this, Keystone City actually got transported to this new Earth and is now the sister city, or a twin city, with Central. Garrick becomes a mentor to the speedsters. Well, not just the speedsters, but many in the DC universe. He's kind of like almost like a father figure to kind of the superhero community. And then the New 52 hit, and I go before we started the show, I was talking to Mike about this, and I was like, the more stuff I do, showcases like this, the more I kind of it like angers me about the New 52, because when they did the New 52 reboot in 2011, they just wiped so much stuff completely away, so much history. Like Jay Garrick as the first speedster, kind of the mentor to everybody, helping people out to harness their power, gone.
Didn't they make him young?
Yes, he's now on Earth 2, as a 21-year-old recent college graduate, which was how he started. He was, a college-age student.
Yeah.
But he received super speed from Mercury, a dying Roman god. The gods were fighting Darkseid.
Oh.
And he was killed. He sees something in Jay, so he bestows his power on him.
Huh.
So no hard water. No.
So you didn't bite a thermometer, ride the lightning? No.
No.
Okay.
But yeah, it kind of bugs me that all that is just thrown out with the New 52.
That's horrible.
He's made into a new character completely. I mean, I like the new character. I read Earth
cool.
2, Earth 2.
I like his helmet. It's like a futuristic little visor.
Yeah, and it's a good character, but it just kind of you're taking all this and just tossing it away, which it does kind of bug me.
Yeah.
But moving on to the new Flash that was introduced in 1956, Barry Allen. He was introduced in Showcase number 4 in October 1956. He was created by Robert Kanigher and Carmine Infantino and ushered in the Silver Age of comics.
Cool.
His appearance in Showcase number 4 is accepted as the beginning of the Silver Age of comics.
Cool.
Allen is a police scientist whose lab is struck by lightning, causing him to be doused with chemicals, giving him super speed. He dons a set of red tights sporting a lightning bolt and dubs himself the Flash after his childhood comic book hero, Jay Garrick.
Huh.
Ira West, Iris' adoptive father, designed his costume and the ring that stores it. So that's where he got that from. In Flash number 110 in December 1959, the nephew of Iris, Wally West, was introduced and became Allen's sidekick, Kid Flash, after the freak accident that gave Allen his powers repeated itself.
What luck!
That always kind of made me go, come on. It was like the exact same accident.
And that's your Flash, so you got
I know, but it's like, come on.
It's like being like an LA Rams fan.
The exact same accident happened again.
I'm a Milwaukee Bucks fan to the death.
Yikes. The Flash is a founding member of the Justice League of America, and he and Iris would eventually get married, and she found out about his secret identity because he talks in his sleep.
So it's not a Steve Miller Band thing?
No.
Okay.
He then later revealed it to her because she found out about it because he talks in his sleep, but she never said anything to him. So eventually he did reveal it to her of his own accord.
And I need to retract that because music fans everywhere are hating me. It's the Romantics who talking in your sleep.
Talking in your sleep, yeah.
Yeah, not Steve Miller Band. That's
He's
abracadabra.
a joker and a tooker.
Yeah, and a midnight talker in your sleep. Damn.
We're back to that again. But Iris, and this is where I was telling you, we had talked about this at one point. He kills Professor Zoom and he's put on trial.
Right, just before the crisis on Infinite
Just
Earths.
before Crisis, yeah. So this is where we get into this, and then, so this gets complicated. So you got to pay attention.
I'm ready.
You're hanging on my every word. Iris is revealed to have been sent as a child from the 30th century. She was actually born in the future, sent here, and adopted by the West to raise here.
So Ira West is the adopted father?
Is her adopted father.
Oh, wow.
In the 80s, basically things start to fall apart for the Flash.
Barry goes to the 30th century, right? Okay.
She goes every once in a while to visit her parents, her birth parents.
Interesting.
So he goes with her sometimes. But she is murdered by Professor Zoom.
Right.
So that starts kind of the downfall. And later, and it sounds weird the way I wrote the sentence. She's murdered by Professor Zoom, and when Alan prepares to marry another woman, it's not like he immediately went to go marry. He's like, well, I'm going to get married to somebody. Come on. This was like a year or so later. He's going to get married to somebody else now.
Who was it?
I don't remember, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
But, well, I'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
Zoom tries the same trick again, tries to kill her. But Flash stops him. He couldn't take the chance that he was going to do it again, so he ends up killing him, breaking his neck.
Oh,
yeah.
Like a... oh, wow.
Yeah, it was... Or I forget how he caught him from behind or something. I remember the panel. I can't remember exactly how he did it, but he broke his neck.
Wow.
he is placed on trial for the murder and found guilty.
Seriously?
He is told by one of the jurors that later, the juror is being controlled by a mind from the future. And that juror tells him that the jury had been brainwashed by Zoom. And that's the reason they found him guilty. But Flash knows that Zoom is dead because he killed him.
Yeah. And what does he say that? Like to...
No, he doesn't say
okay.
it. It can't be him because I killed his ass.
Yeah, Barry.
But he flees the trial because he knows it's crap. So he flees the trial and is attacked by Reverse Flash. So he's not really dead.
So this. Oh wow.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I found the panel. Yeah, it's where he cracks his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not again. Yeah, not again. Okay, I lost my place. Okay, yeah, he realizes that the answers are in the future, so he uses a time device to go forward to the 30th century. When he gets there, he finds out that Iris's spirit was actually transported to the 30th century.
Oh.
And she was given a new body, so she's not dead. She's alive in the 30th century.
So awesome. Or no?
Yes.
Oh, good.
The final issue of the Flash series ended with Flash and Iris kissing in the caption, and they live happily ever after for a while.
Oh, here we go.
And this was right before Crisis.
Yeah. What happened to the other woman he was going to marry?
Oh, yeah, she went nuts.
Oh.
Because she was left at the altar by him.
Damn.
She went nuts. That was
Poor
awesome.
lady. Yeah, right.
Barry retires with Iris in the 30th century. But he only got to enjoy it for a few months before he is captured by the Anti-Monitor and taken back to 1985. The Flash is seemingly killed by running fast enough to create a speed vortex to destroy the Anti-Monitor's antimatter cannon. He actually went back in time. Well, when he started, we saw this there in the story. He's going back in time and he starts seeing stuff. He goes back in time and he actually becomes the lightning bolt that struck his lab that created him in the first place, that doused him with chemicals and created him in the first place.
Wow.
I'm glad I found that because I remembered that. I remembered them saying that at one point. So when I was doing research for this, I'm glad I found that because it was it was one of those things like, okay, do I really remember that right? Did they say that?
So the Flash story is always paradoxical. There's
exactly.
Always paradox, right, built into it.
Yeah. And just like that, it was like, okay, if he's that lightning bolt, how is he able to be that lightning bolt if that's, I mean, if you don't have the lightning bolt that gives him his powers, then he can't become that lightning bolt that gave him his powers.
Right, if he saves his mom and if he
exactly.
does all these things, it's all twisted up.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, man.
But I'm glad I found that to add that in because I remembered it, but I wasn't sure if I remembered it.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And he actually, instead of dying, and we know this now because he's came back, but he became one with the Speed Force.
Cool.
Which is the source of power for all of the speedsters except Jay. Jay doesn't get his power from the Speed Force. Well, did they
retcon that?
They may have retconned that towards the end before they.
They made him young, maybe to.
Yeah.
How does Jay get his speed?
No, the Speed Force has never been in Earth 2 now.
Yeah.
The young Jay Garrick it's never referenced. Speed Force is never referenced. Just like the Green Lantern never references the
core.
Guardians.
Right.
Yeah.
The core of the Guardians.
It's completely separate.
Wow.
But Jay Garrick, it was said that he didn't get his from the Speed Force. He is powered other ways. So that way, there was one time when the Speed Force, they were cut off from the Speed Force. So everybody else was
slow.
Normal. Yeah.
And Jay was not.
Jay could still move at super speed. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. At the time of Barry's death, or apparent death, Iris is pregnant with twins who become known as the Tornado Twins, Don and Dawn Allen. Each of them has children with speed-based abilities. Jenny Ognatz, who grows up to become the Legionnaire XS, and the other one is Bart Allen.
Ah, okay. I was wondering where Bart comes from.
And he actually has a disease, like a speed-based disease, and is sent back to the 20th century, and Wally West cures him. That's when he goes back to our time. Wally's able to cure him, and that's when he becomes Impulse.
Ah, that's who Impulse is.
Yes,
okay,
that is Bart is Impulse. Yeah,
gotcha.
And we'll get into him more next week.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw that little bit in there.
That makes sense.
Now, this was actually one of the longest-lasting comic book deaths. It actually held for 23 years.
Oh my Lord!
And as far as comic book death, that's astronomical.
Maybe Cap? Was Cap dead that long?
No, because that's the thing. They were still publishing Cap. I mean, they retconned it
like
to
from
where
golden to silver.
Yeah, they retconned it to he was frozen in 1943 or 4 or whatever. But they were publishing Captain America comic books in 1957.
Yeah, right. Well, didn't they come out with him again?
Yeah, but it was still Steve Rogers.
Yeah, it was still the same story. The previous, but he wasn't frozen. He wasn't in modern time.
They didn't come up with that until 1960. I think it was 66 when they bought him out for the Avengers. Yeah, that was the thing. They completely glossed over every bit of that.
Ooh.
But if you find those and read them, it's Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes.
Wow.
They're actually still in the Army, the whole 9 yards.
Still World War II.
They're Commie Smasher. Captain America, Commie Smasher.
Maybe Gwen Stacy would be the only other, right? She's just come back recently. But
and it's
minor.
an alternate world. I mean, but as far as like main characters, Flash is the longest. Yeah.
Wow. What discipline that takes.
Yeah. Yeah, and to keep from just coming up with some way to do it. And what Marv Wolfman actually said, he's given people a way they could do it because he starts going back through time, so you can throw him in
anywhere.
Yeah, and just say, oh, that's as he was coming back in time. Yeah.
He took the exit to 88.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but 23 years after his death in Crisis, Barry made his return in Final Crisis #2 in 2008. Right before that Final Crisis came out, a book called DC Universe #0.
Oh, right. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, I've got to see if I can find that.
That sounds cool.
The story is told by an unnamed narrator that is slowly revealed to be Barry Allen. He starts off, he doesn't know who he is or what's going on, and actually the narration box is yellow,
colors, right?
Yellow letters, but with a black background. As it goes through the book, the black background slowly becomes red, and then and he starts to recognize people. And the narrator is saying, "Oh, I am
him. Ronald McDonald."
Yes, I know him. When he sees like Superman and Hal Jordan specifically, because he was the one; those were the ones that he was very close to.
Yeah.
And so it slowly reveals that he's Barry Allen, and I can imagine reading that at the time,
and being like, "Who is this?"
And then finally realizing who it is, and just because at the time I wasn't reading comics, so I was out of it. So I didn't realize he had come back until. I got back into comics.
Yeah.
But I could, you can imagine that it's, it would be really exciting to read that and realize who it was and
what's
who was coming
happen
back
next. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was said in the DC Universe #0 that he is the only one that sees the quote shadow falling over everything in the form of Darkseid. That's what's coming for Final Crisis.
Oh.
And he arrives on the final page of Final Crisis #2, chasing the bullet that eventually kills Orion. And before he shows up, Jay and Wally are there, and they feel vibrations, and Jay recognizes it as Barry, and he's like, "Do you feel that? Don't you recognize that vibration?" So he knows it's Barry, and they're standing there going, "No, it can't be." And then all of a sudden, boom, there's Barry.
And then the animal sounds, or the pet sounds soundtrack kicks in. And
exactly.
Beach Boys.
Yes.
It's good vibration.
Then that was 2008 when that happened. Then 2009, DC published The Flash Rebirth by writer Jeff Johns and artist Ethan Van Sciver. This 6-issue miniseries returned Barry to prominence as the Flash in the DC universe. In Rebirth, it was revealed that Professor Zoom was who brought Barry out of the Speed Force. And also, coincidentally, pretty much every bad thing that happened in Barry's life is Professor Zoom.
Yeah.
He killed his mom. He killed his wife. He faked his own death so Barry would be put on trial and found guilty because he influenced, he brainwashed the jury.
So it's
what a bastard.
Sounds like Kingpin and Daredevil, right?
Yeah.
Disbarring, kicking him out of his house. Yeah.
So like in Rebirth, you find out that basically every bad thing, like Barry had a hangnail. That was probably Reverse Flash. I mean, everything bad that happened.
It would be ingrown then if it was reverse.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be even worse.
Just got to think this way. This is how it's going.
Then after that, in Blackest Night, Barry became a Blue Lantern for a while to fight Necron. That was because basically everybody at that point became one of the different Lanterns. Pretty much every hero in DC universe got something. Yeah, he became one of them. So he was a Blue Lantern. And following the events of Blackest Night, a new Flash series was started. Of course, it didn't last that long because I think it was issue 10. They started the lead up to Flashpoint.
Okay.
Then in Flashpoint, Barry wakes up in a world where his mom is alive. If I remember correctly.
Or he said she knocks on the door?
Yeah, he wakes up to somebody knocking on the door to his apartment. So he jumps up and goes and opens the door, and it's his mom.
Which freaks him out.
Freaks him out, yes. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
And he's talking to her, kind of feeling things out. He says something about Superman. She's never heard of him. There's no trace of Superman. So he's like, okay, something has gone wonky. I need Batman to help me figure it out. So he goes to the Batcave, and there's nobody there at first. Then he gets attacked by Batman, and who is screaming at him going, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" It's Thomas Wayne, because he's attacking him, and he's like, "Bruce, what are you doing? Calm down," which makes Thomas even crazier. He's like, why? Because you're saying,
is Bruce dead? Or
Bruce is dead.
Yeah.
And Thomas became Batman.
As a result of the death of his son. Yeah.
Yes.
And wife, right?
And wife.
He survived
his
Joe
wife,
Cool?
No, his wife became the Joker.
Oh.
Yeah, that was...
Damn, I want to read this.
Yeah, it's the little offshoot of... Because there's little crossover, little things for a lot of different heroes.
Yep.
The Batman one, and I'm not just biased, but... The Batman one was one of the best ones because
sounds like it.
Martha was the Joker.
Oh, that's awesome.
And at one point, like he comes back into, she's kidnapped somebody, and he's talking about, the whole thing is he's narrating, and he's talking about chasing down the Joker, and I've got to do this again. I've got to find you, and I'm not going to let you do heinous acts again, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And he follows the trail to Wayne Manor. And he gets in there, and it's you see the back of the Joker, and he finally goes, "Martha, what have you done?" And she swings around, and it's Martha Wayne is the Joker.
Oh my God! I don't want to see it. I want to read this. This
her
sounds
mind
great.
Splintered, and she became the Joker, and he became Batman.
This is Flashpoint.
It's an offshoot, the Batman spin-off series.
Extensions. Okay.
Yeah.
Of Flashpoint.
But that's a really good one. So, but in Flashpoint, there's no trace of Superman. Batman is Thomas Wayne, and it all comes. You come to find out with Batman's help. You come to find out that the alternate timeline was caused by him going back in time to save his mother. Which
that's
what
what happens.
Like in the TV show,
right?
We had that, and where like the future version of himself told him not to, and like waved him off because it would cause issues.
Well, it did, right? Did it create the breach between the Earths?
Yeah,
right.
Or was that what caused it? Or yeah, that's what caused it. Him going back in time. So, but that's what caused all this. this alternate timeline, and they had to merge all the timelines back together, which gave us the New 52.
Oh Lord!
And when the New 52 launched, we get another Flash series. It's kind of like the Marvel thing. Like we've had 8 issues of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, then we go to Secret Wars, then they restart at number 1. They did the same thing. It was like they had just restarted Flash starring Barry Allen. It had gone 10, maybe 12 issues. And then they went to Flashpoint, so they restarted in the New 52. Because everything had to start at 1.
Good Lord.
So
I'm all right. I might have to call in sick those days. That sounds like some pretty crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the Flashpoint was a good series, and there was a lot of Aquaman, and Aquaman was leading Atlantis against the Amazons.
Oh, was that the Battle of Atlantis or Throne of Atlantis story? Is that something else?
No, this was part of the Flashpoint world.
Yeah.
Was Paradise the Amazons from Paradise Island, led by Wonder Woman, was at war with Atlantis, and one of them, I don't remember who it was. One of them had sunk England. It was gone. England is completely gone.
How do you do that?
That's a good question. I mean, it's not floating. It's an island.
That's right.
It's like a mountain.
Burrow it out. Yeah.
That's sticking out of the water. But so England was gone. There was like a little part of it left. But they were at war.
Wow.
That was part of the
what does Atlantis have to do with Paradise Island and in England?
Well, that was part of their war. Like it was like
the battleground type of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the Druids.
Yeah, I think Atlantis had attacked Paradise Island, and so they were set up. The Amazons were set up in England, and so they attacked there.
Okay.
But yeah, it was pretty much it was tearing up the world. So
sounds like another cool story.
Yeah. There was some interesting things there in Flashpoint, and of course Batman. Even though it's Thomas Wayne, he's still cool as hell.
Yeah.
And he kills Professor Zoom.
Oh.
Like Professor Zoom's doing the whole supervillain like diatribe where he's explaining
Let me tell you the plan.
Yeah, what he's doing and why he's doing it and all this stuff, and Thomas Wayne gets a sword and comes up behind him and just right up through his back.
Yeah, that must have been satisfying. Was it in front of Barry at least? Did Barry get to see?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
It's awesome.
Justice.
Yeah, but that is the story of Barry Allen. I mean, after the New 52, it's basically been, kind of, business as usual. Wally has been, I think, reintroduced, but I don't think as a speedster.
It's just a character.
Yeah, just a character. I think, because he's Iris's nephew, and his father Daniel is in jail. There's something. I just picked up reading The Flash again, probably about a year or so ago.
Okay.
There's a lot of the backstory that I'm not quite up on
from New 52.
Like from the New 52. So, I'll get into that next week when we get into Wally West and Bart Allen, because there's a lot of history there. There's 23 years that Wally was the Flash until he came back. So there's a lot that we can get into with Wally, and then
I'd love to see how that transition went, because obviously Wally taking over for Barry was needed, but like with Barry coming back, it's like, oh hi.
Yeah, and
it's a long time to be Flash, to give it up.
Yeah,
for Wally.
It kind of bugged me because we were talking about it before we started the show. It was like, all you have to do is give Barry a new name. Just says, you know what, the Flash is back, and that's something Wally would do. That's his Uncle Barry.
Right, he would allow it.
That's his hero.
Right.
If anybody, he'd go, you know what? You're the Flash. If you're here, you're going to be it.
You're the guy.
I'll be
Fast Man.
Yeah, Fast Man or something like that. I'll just come up with a new name.
Right.
Like Dick did, going from Robin to Nightwing.
Right.
So
or
instead
Impulse, right? Well, I guess he was never Flash. Was Bart ever Flash?
Yes, Bart was Flash for a while.
And then became Impulse.
No, he was Impulse first. He was Impulse, then he was Kid Flash, then he became Flash for a little bit.
Oh.
And then I believe he died. I think he was killed by a clone of himself.
Damn.
It's another thing that I'll have to get into.
It's a rough life, these Wests.
Yeah.
Jay Garrick seems to just ride off into the sunset.
He's cool. He's got
like,
the little
all right,
salt and pepper at his temples. He's good to go.
I got a hard water filter. I'm good.
Yeah, on my smoke break. But that is our showcase, the first part of our Flash showcase, covering Jay Garrick and Barry Allen. Next week, we will cover Wally West and Bart Allen and some alternate versions, one of which is my favorite Flash comic ever. It was a special, the 50th anniversary special. And it
of Flash.
And it introduced a new Flash.
Ooh.
So
I'm dying to know.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
There's your tease
leave
for
the
next week.
Cliffhanger. Thanks,
That's
Timmy.
right.
All right.
So before we get out of here, we'd like to take a look at our picks of the week. Something I read, I had this on my mind, and I just read it last night, and I'm trying to remember what it was. You go ahead with your picks, and I'll try to remember.
Well, I'm going to go for the, finally, we were talking about this Star Trek Green Lantern '5.
Yes.
Was
a new one out? Is that?
It just came out today.
Okay.
Yeah, which looks really exciting. And then, as you've been saying, Vader Down is out.
Is it? Oh,
yeah. It came out today. So, and Telos #2, I'm excited about that. He's our Convergence villain hero.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. How about you?
Okay. I remember what it was. The all-new Wolverine, #1.
Oh.
I was very pleasantly surprised.
This is female Wolverine with the 2 claws. Oh.
Yes. I was very pleasantly surprised. It was very well done.
Cool.
The artwork, and I'm not sure who the crew is working on it.
Mm-hmm.
The artwork was very well done. She has some type of relationship with Angel, who looks really cool. It's got like glowing, like super sci-fi wings now.
Oh, cool.
But she has a little flashback where basically she gets shot in the head.
Oh.
So she has to kind of give herself a moment to recover from that. Her brain starts to re-knit, basically.
Wow.
But she has a little flashback, moment, flashback to when she was with Logan and he was training her.
Oh.
So you kind of get a nod to, she does care about Logan.
Yeah.
And she does. It's not just throwing the mask on somebody else. She's a clone of him.
Right.
And she was trained by him. So she cares about the legacy. And and you get a sense that they were showing you that with this little flashback and the way the book is laid out. And she's got rough edges like him.
Tear it up. Where does it take place?
She's in Paris, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was sometime. She finds there's some group that's on the Eiffel Tower. They don't really get into why she's chasing them, but they've done something wrong. That's just it's kind of laid out there. But at the end of it, they're wearing the one she was chasing was wearing a mask, and rather than be captured, she dives off the Eiffel Tower, and they go to find her body at the end, take the mask off. It's a clone of Laura. So, okay, who are these people? Who is this? And she knows there's more of them out there. So who's doing this to them? Who's making them? So she's.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty intense story.
Cool.
And it's well done, and it doesn't feel cheap. That was the biggest thing that I was afraid of, that it would, coming up with this new Wolverine, would feel cheap.
Yeah, Logan's hard to replace.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So I was very pleasantly surprised by it. I talked about Art Ops last week, and the Batman and Robin Eternal is
going good.
Yeah, it's been very, very, very well put together, and there's no Batman there. So they're Nightwing is kind of stepping up to take point on this and kind of steer this vessel.
Awesome.
So that's cool to see. The Vader Down, that's coming out today. I'm excited to read that.
That's that crossover story between
exactly.
Star Wars and the Darth Vader series, right?
Yeah, it'll be interesting because Luke's been following his little deal, in the Star Wars series, Vader's been following his deal, so this will be kind of a crossover, and to pay for the stuff that Vader is doing and keep it out of the Emperor's radar.
Oh, doesn't he have to pull a bank heist?
Basically, he pulled a bank heist and made it look like it was an accident. But they figure out that somebody actually, it wasn't like a random explosion that blew credits out into the into space. Somebody did this, and they almost got away with it. So
hadn't been for you kids.
Yeah, and an inspector is sent to help Vader figure out what's going on. And so for the last couple of issues,
so he's got him under the thumb.
Yeah. Last couple of issues, they've been like trying to figure out what happened, and they'll find a lead, and before the inspector gets in the door, Vader strikes him down.
That's awesome.
Or like they'll be there was one they were interrogating, and he basically said, okay, you can't tell us anymore, and just killed him. And the inspector's like, maybe we could have got something else out of him. He said, no, we couldn't have. So he was just like, that's it.
Wow.
We're done.
You never see Vader in that situation where he's questioned.
So this is it's interesting. It's kind of fun to watch him he's almost the hero of the story.
Yeah, but
even though it's Darth Vader.
He's the anti-hero.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's been a very interesting series, and to watch that, Luke has been kind of chasing his own past too. He goes back to Tatooine and goes to Obi-Wan's place, and Boba Fett finds him there because there's a huge bounty on his head. The pilot that blew up the Death Star.
Right. Yeah. You better. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So he met Boba Fett there and actually fought him already, which kind of explains everybody else is quaking in their boots in Return of the Jedi. Everybody else is quaking in their boots about Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Except for Luke.
Because he's scrapped with him before.
Yeah, he scrapped with him before. So that kind of explains that.
Oh, man. All right. Damn, Timmy. You're the reason I'm
spending
broke.
Too much money. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to reading that Vader down. That should be really good. So
cool.
And there was another something else out today. I Hate Fairyland number 2. I'm loving that. And Invincible 125. This has been
that's your jam.
They didn't reboot it, but they sent him back in time, so he knows what's going to happen.
Right.
So he goes and finds who is his eventual wife, and
his dad is alive.
His dad is alive and hasn't tried to take over the Earth yet. And so at the end of this last one, he gets his powers the same day, just like usual. And he goes to the costume maker, and they actually have a scene with the costume maker going, he said, yeah, it looks perfect. He goes, well, I've never had somebody come to me with such exact specifications about what they wanted. Because he went to him and go, okay, it needs to be like this, and this. He wanted his exact suit. So they had a little scene with that, and it shows you kind of going through a couple months of him getting to places before things happen.
Oh, wow.
Because for a while he's with a team called the Teen Team. Very imaginative. But so like as they put it in the letters column, Mark knows this story too. Mark is invincible. He knows this story too. So he knows the guys they fought early in his career and how they did it and where they took. Yeah. So they're getting there before and kind of blowing the whistle on people before things get really bad.
Wow, that's really. So you have to have read up till now to know what's up, to appreciate. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's kept it quiet. He's kept it away from his dad. He hasn't told, because in the original story he told his dad immediately.
Yeah.
Because he didn't realize that his dad
will become a bad guy.
Was secretly there to take over the Earth.
Yes.
So at the end of 124. His dad saw him and recognized him, and it was like, okay, we need to have a talk. And he's like, why would you do this without telling me?
Yeah.
And the last panel is, okay, Dad, do you love me? Do you love Mom?
Damn.
And he says, yeah, of course I do. What are you talking about? And he goes, okay, can I ask you to not take over the earth? And it was just like, he starts to get pissed. He starts to get really pissed, and that's where it ended. So I want to see what's going on. I want to see the end result, because this is, I mean, Nolan, his dad, ended up leaving because they fought, and they fought hard, because they're invincible.
Yeah.
So they can beat the living crap out of each other and then recover from it.
And then have a beer. Yeah.
Yeah. And they beat the crap out of each other, and he rather than kill his son, he left Earth.
Damn.
So yeah, and that's why the reason he did after he came back later, and was a good guy, he told him, he's like, that's why I left, because I couldn't do it. I love you and I love your mother. So I wasn't supposed to do that, but it ended up happening. And so that's why he immediately said, do you love me? And do you love mom? So he's trying to trigger that
to get him
get him to stay down.
Oh,
so
damn.
yeah, I'm really looking to see what, how they carry on with this, and how
cool.
It's been one of the best series that I've read in a long time, for a good long time. And they actually said in the letters column, they said, this was always said, it was the comic that was so well written, it didn't need a reboot, but we did it anyway to see. And it's like not really a reboot. It's just a new part of the story.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Right. Cool.
So yeah, this last episode was very interesting. So it still remains one of the best comics out there.
Awesome.
So if you're not reading Invincible, you should be.
Yeah. I have to start a Kickstarter now.
Yeah, exactly. Buy all the books that I should be reading.
Right.
But that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. Remember, for all the latest news from around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media.
Tim, I'm starting to not feel so good again.
Not again.
Not again.
No.
This will conclude this week's sanctioned propaganda of the Karate Orc Analog Cast. For all of the latest news from all around geek miserable culture, make sure you obediently follow us on social media or suffer in our dungeons. We're at facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast, Twitter @Ninja Troll Show, and Instagram @Ninja Troll Digicast. YouTube at youtube.com/C for concussion /Ninja Troll Digicast. And you can always visit us against your will at ninjatrolldigicast.com. And while you are there being miserable, click on the subscribe your soul to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us in 7 human days. Same karate time, same karate channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Mike say,
"Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb."
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.